Whoops. Oh. Welcome to Dem Boyz, a podcast that didn't see you there. Sorry, I was just cleaning up my copy of Rutasawa Throughline, published by the Manil, as seen on the recent episode of New Heights during Taylor Swift's album release. We're one Saints fan and one Cowboys fan, one fan of Who Dat, and one fan of Dat Win. We're here to give weekly takes, game recaps, bad betting picks, game previews, and the occasional Seinfeld reference.
Oh, sorry. I was finishing the New Heights episode. This week, we will continue with our divisional previews for the AFC and NFC North. And we're going to honor a patron Saint Cowboy who also played for only AFC and NFC North teams, only officially played. So we'll discuss as we go here. This week, our patron Saint / Cowboy is defensive lineman Christian Jacques Richard Ringo, who was born in Jackson, Mississippi. He attended the University of Louisiana at Lafayette and was selected in the 6th round, the 210th overall selection in the 2015 NFL Draft. He was drafted by the Green Bay Packers. And he would remain with the Packers until 2017 when he was waived. From there, he was claimed off waivers by the Cincinnati Bengals, but then waived 6 days later. 2 days after that, he was signed to the Detroit Lions practice squad. That was on September 14th, 2017. Promoted to the active roster on November 22nd. He was waived by the Lions on August 31st, 2018. September 26, 2018, he was signed to Brandon's Dallas Cowboys to the practice squad and then promoted to the active roster on November 17th of that year. He was waived 2 days later, but re-signed to the practice squad with the Cowboys. 6 days after that, he was re-signed to the Bengals off of the Cowboys practice squad, but then was waived with an injury settlement during final roster cuts on August 30th, 2019. Then July 1st, 2020, he signed with the Canadian Football League's Winnipeg Blue Bombers, but he opted out of his contract after the CFL canceled their season due to something you may have heard of called the COVID-19 pandemic.
Sounds familiar.
That year, November 11th of 2020, he joined the Saints practice squad, and he was released on January 11th of 21. But then a week later signed a reserve/futures contract. January 29th, 2022, he signed with the Arizona Cardinals, but was released about a month later on August 30th. The following day, he would sign with the Saints practice squad, released on October 20th. December 28th, 2022, he signed with the Baltimore Ravens practice squad, so there's another AFC North team, but was released January 10th of 2023. So that was the last of his. I think we may have lost Brandon here. Yep, I think we lost Brandon. That's okay. I'm still here. We'll wait for Brandon to come back, and we'll get the show. I think he's dealing with a thunderstorm in his area. Let's get it. While we're waiting for Brandon to get resituated here, I'll just talk through the baseball school here. Pull them up. We were going to talk about this on the show, but Astros are up 4-1 on the Red Sox. Astros have been kind of slumping lately. The Mariners have caught up with them. As of right now, they are in a dead tie for first place Mariners and Astros, that is, in the American League West. So hopefully the Astros can get a win tonight. Yankees, meanwhile, are fading rapidly, looks like. So 4-1 Astros over the Red Sox right now. It's good to see. What else we got? We got Mariners and Orioles are tied at 0, bottom of the 4th. Marlins 13-4 over the Guardians, bottom of the 8th. Yankees and Twins tied at 0. Apparently that game's on Prime Video. I didn't realize they were showing baseball on Prime Video. Cubs 3, Blue Jays 1, top of the 8th. Could be a World Series preview. I know the Blue Jays are. How are the Cubbies doing this year? The Cubs are. Oh, never mind. Cubs are 8 games back in the Central. Mets 3, Braves 0, and a couple finals here. Diamondbacks 6, Rangers 4. I'll mention that while Brandon's not on the call. I'm sure he wasn't too happy about that. Got Tigers 1, White Sox 0, Brewers 12, Pirates 5, Nationals 8, Royals 7, Rockies 6, Cardinals 5. Shout out to Donnie, Rockies fan. I know it's been a tough year for them. Padres 11, Giants 1, Reds 8, Phillies 0. A couple games coming up later. Dodgers Angels, a little crosstown game there. And then Rays and Athletics later this evening as well. So there's your baseball update for the evening here on this August day. Still waiting on Brandon to get back here. His internet may just be down. Let me see. Check in with him. See what we're doing with him. See if we got an ETA. I just sent him a text to tell him I was vamping, and autocorrect said I'm camping. So I'm sure he was confused by that. But nevertheless, so what's going on Twitter right now? Looks like Taylor Swift. Maybe I could just fire up the New Heights episode and just watch along while we're waiting. Let's see. Apparently Taylor Swift is a football junkie, knows the ins and outs. Shout out to all the folks who have kids going back to school. My kiddos went back to school today. So, and here in Texas, I know some parts of the world, depending on where you're listening to us, some parts of the world, it's different starting dates. So I think some folks don't start till after Labor Day, which I guess makes sense. I'm always growing up where I grew up. We always started before Labor Day. Let's see if there's any other news around the world here that I'm sure Brandon and I will get to. We'll get to a lot of the news around the NFL. I don't want to spoil it. Let's see here. What else we got going on? Looks like Looks like the New Heights podcast may have broken the internet. Maybe that's what happened to Brandon's internet. New Heights broke his internet. Oh, I think we might be back here.
And we're back.
Hey, we're back.
Hey, and it says we're still live, so I assume the show is still going on.
Yeah, so I sent you a text, and I want to text you. I'm vamping.
I thought you said camping, and I was very confused.
Autocorrect. Yeah, thanks, Apple.
Yeah, no help.
No help whatsoever. So I guess we could just start from the top again.
I would just
I went through all the baseball scores. That's what I was waiting for. I was just trying to find something. I didn't want to talk too much football because
Did you finish the?
I was just about to get to the end on Mr. Ringo here, but
what? I mean, close out Mr. Ringo. We don't want to give him short shrift, and then we can.
Okay.
And then we can roll into the. We'll let Izzy kick us off.
All right, fair enough. All right, so finishing up with Mr. Ringo for his career, he totaled 1.5 sacks. All of those were with the Bengals in 2018. He also had 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, and 42 career tackles. So officially, he only played for the Saints, the Cowboys, the Bengals, and the Packers. I know we went through a couple other teams, but from an official football reference, counts for immaculate grid.
You got to get on the field.
Yeah. I'm Paul, the Saints fan.
I'm Brandon, the Cowboys fan.
We're your hosts. Izzy, what time is it?
Yeah, that's it. It's go time. Let's see you lift that.
Mr. Vanderbilt, please.
It's go time.
This one's for you, Pop. It's go time.
It's go time.
Ooh. You've been married 3 times.
That's it. It's go time. It's go time.
All right.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad to see that the show kept going. Even though I was got thrown out of the joint.
Hey. Yeah, I mean I tried. I did my best.
It may or may not happen again, based on the fact that it is still storming pretty bad out here.
I was gonna say, when you go back and listen to it, you may not think it's my best, but I did what I could.
I trust that you did a great job, Paul.
And if you folks listening at home have any feedback on how I did, you can send it to us at blessthemboys@gmail.com. That's BLESSDEMBOYZ@gmail.com. Still on X at bless_dem_boys. Should we should we just go for the gold and try to get Taylor Swift to she has Twitter, right? Or X?
Oh, I think so. I'm pretty sure she does.
I know there's fan accounts and all that, but maybe we can get one of the Kelseys to well, probably not Jason. Jason's probably not big on you're probably not a big fan of Jason, but
no, but I think I could get I can get Taylor interested in with the book. Maybe that's my way forward is Taylor, if you need any Manil publications or if you'd like to purchase this Manil water bottle, which is made for employees only and not available for purchase in stores. You have your people call my people. And by my people, I mean my phone.
There you go. So give us a shout. We're also on Blue Sky. Follow us on Blue Sky. Oh, you can follow myself. I'm at Paul Elliott _316. Brandon is at Ball from Grace. You're checking us out right now. We're live on YouTube. So thank you so much if you're joining us. You can also check us out later on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Leave a rating and review. We appreciate all the feedback. That's 2 T's on Elliott there, but
you think after having Ezekiel Elliott on my team for way too long,
I know
I would be able to spell it by now.
Yeah. By the way, an interesting graphic you sent me over the weekend. comparing Ezekiel Elliott's career to Terrell Davis. We'll save Donnie the Broncos fans' feelings.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
But yeah, leave a rating and review. Subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Tell the bots. I think the bots are still with us. Yeah, you sent me.
I sent you another. We recently had a new bot join us.
Shout out to them. What pronouns do the bots use? Do you think they use
it?
It?
The machine.
Oh boy. All right. Well, we will get into some football here. We got a lot of football, good football to discuss, and again, we'll preview the two North divisions tonight as well. But before that, we at Bless Them Boys do pride ourselves on being able to discuss other things.
But enough about fish. I can discuss other things, you know.
All right, Brandon, what you get up to over the week?
So there was some new music on Friday. One of those. Are you familiar with Charlie Crockett?
It rings a bell. Name rings a bell.
Yeah, so he's a kind of one of those like country music artists. It's kind of like not on like major radio. I actually saw him play in San Antonio about probably like 6 or 7 years back with Tyler Childers. He was the opener. Tyler Childers was the second act, and then the third act was Turnpike Troubadours.
Okay.
And so he was really good.
I know that name. Turnpike
Yes.
Troubadours.
So that concert was like maybe like $50 a ticket, and now all three of those artists, like, you probably can't get in the door for any of them for like less than 100 now, like each. So like that show was like just an amazing lineup. So I felt very lucky to have gone to see it. But the new album's really good. The first couple of songs started out a little slow on like the first couple of songs, but it really like hit its stride and had some good stuff in there. I meant to write down a couple of the songs. That the album's called $1 a Day. But it's that one was really good. And then this other country artist who I think she's playing ACL this year. She's a singer-songwriter.
That's Austin City Limits.
Austin City Limits. That is correct. Not anterior cruciate ligament.
Right. This time of year, you say ACL, people get.
I know. Nervous. She will be tearing up ACL.
Wow.
On stage.
I knew you could do it.
Of course I could. So her name, I don't know her actual name. I've been trying to find information on her. She's like 24 from Georgia, but her stage name is Clover County. She released like an EP with like a couple of songs, one called Virginia Slim and the other called Good Game. Both were really good. And then she has like another EP with a few songs on it. Limbo is one of the big ones that's really good. So would recommend.
Do you think at some point we can maybe get Clover County on the show when her new album comes out? And we can.
That's a good question. She was playing a show in Georgia, or not Georgia. She's from Georgia. She was playing a show in Washington and said something about something about barking, and then she goes, "Go Dogs!" And so I'm thinking she's a UGA fan. So maybe, maybe we can get her on to talk some college football.
I'm gonna guess she's a Falcons fan, which could present a problem. But you know,
oh yeah, when we have her, maybe we should get her on for the NFC South preview, Paul.
Oh, she's definitely got better things to do with her time. Talk about the
NFC South. Listen, I know you got like a burgeoning music career over there, but why don't you come over here and talk about the worst division in football? Oh, yeah. So would recommend those albums. We'll reach out and see if we can. I'll see if I can work some magic over here. I also did a revisit. Are you familiar with Arctic Monkeys?
Yes, I haven't listened to a lot of their music, but I am familiar with the band.
Yeah, so I've been kind of going through a phase where I'll just go back and revisit some like late 90s, early 2000s music. And so I revisited their first album, which is Whatever People Say I'm Not. That's What I Am. Or so it's one of those long titles, which is still like a fantastic album. And then I also revisited Humbug, which is probably my favorite album of theirs. Those are probably my two favorites. So I went and visited those. Both albums still incredible. I think there's one song
I believe that phase you're referring to is called middle age.
Yeah. Yep. Well, it's great now because I go to HEB and they're playing all like our radio music in the grocery store now.
Yeah, well, it's okay. I have a little different feeling about that when like I'm in.
So my favorite thing was.
Have you had the moment where you're driving down I don't know how much radio you listen to, but like you're driving down the road and like you turn on a radio and it's like classic rock and they play like Incubus or like one of these bands from 20 years ago that was
like whoa, you're off by 20 years here, buddy.
Say, hold on.
Well, it's like when they had Dr. Dre and 50 Cent and Eminem and Snoop Dogg playing the Super Bowl, and you're like, wait a second, I thought the halftime show was supposed to be marketed toward old people. What's going on here?
Exactly. Like when the Saints won the Super Bowl, it was the Who was the halftime show. Now it's
man, y'all got a bad one. I hate the Who. I'm not a Who fan. I like the Guess Who. Are you familiar with the Guess Who?
I am familiar with the Guess Who. I don't know a lot of their songs, but I'm familiar with the band.
Well, Guess Who sings American Woman?
Ah, well, there you go.
There's a really good. I showed my kid Who's on First this week.
Nice.
Nice. But there was someone who did a comedy routine. So she tweeted, "Guess who sings American Woman?" And someone responded, "Lenny Kravitz." And she was like, "No, guess who?" And he's like, I said Lenny Kravitz, and it just kept going and going and going.
That's fantastic.
I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
That's one of those where, like, if you see it, it's like, don't ruin it. Don't.
Yeah, you just like let that. You just let that guy go. You just let it. Just let him stay oblivious.
That's why the internet. That's when the internet's good. Is stuff like that.
I also. Speaking of revisits, I got my wife to watch Sinners this weekend. So we did that. So we went into it, and so like we were watching it, and she's like, I know nothing about this movie, like absolutely nothing.
Good.
And so we get to the part where, and spoiler alert, folks, where the vampires come out, and she's like, I had no idea. And I was like, surprise, vampires. So yep, it's a vampire movie.
Little known fact, that was the original title. Surprise, vampires.
Surprise, vampires. War, what is it good for? Vampires, right. What is it good? What are they good for? Right. Absolutely nothing. And then new stuff. I actually started the White Lotus this week. I watched another episode today, so I'm 2 episodes in. As I texted you after watching the first episode, if I had known that Alexandra Daddario and Sydney Sweeney were both in this, I would have watched this a lot sooner.
So I forget about it until someone tweets that. You might not have gotten to this scene yet, but there's a scene with they're both in it and they're at the pool.
Oh, when she takes out when she like goes to her swimsuit and
Sydney Sweeney's like, oh, like
yeah. So as you texted me, many of the attributes
prized by the superficial
exactly. they got them in spades.
I definitely could see Alexandria. I definitely could see. Is it Daddario? Is that how you pronounce her?
Daddario.
I definitely could see her as one of Jerry's girlfriends. Like throughout she was on. Did you see True Detective? You saw True Detective.
I did see True Detective.
Okay.
I am aware. Okay. I am aware.
I am aware.
Oh man, What else? What was I going to say about that? Oh,
Probably best that you forgot.
I know. Oh, no. I couldn't. I kept when I was watching the first episode. I kept looking at Alexandra Daddario's husband, the guy who plays. And I was like, this guy is. I've seen this face before. And it like just kept bugging me and bugging. He was in The Office. Do you remember?
Okay.
Do you remember this? They had him and the guy with glasses, like the dorky guy with glasses who was trying to like hook up with Aaron. His name was Pete.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like I get. And then the other question, and I think I know the answer to this, but am I supposed to just hate all the characters in this show?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
So there will be, all of the. It's weird. Like there usually is like one or two characters that you're like that you may not maybe don't love, but you're just like, oh, I want them to like do well. Like you
like Jennifer Coolidge's character is like
right. Yeah. So like you may not love them like what they do or their actions or anything, but you're just like, oh, another Seinfeld alum, Jennifer Coolidge.
Was she the masseuse?
Yeah, she was the masseuse.
Which is
she did not
ironic
submit
because
to forcible. Yeah.
Which is ironic based on what she needs in this TV show because she needs a massage.
That's right. It's been a while since I've seen season 1. I mean, I watched season 3 or whatever season they just finished.
I think season 3 was like the most recent one, right?
Yeah, and that one was, obviously very good. But that I think I'd mentioned when I talked about it on the show, like that's a show that I watch, kind of turn the brain off, and then when it's done, I don't really think about it that much. Like it's a good show. Like it's good. I love it in that window of time when the season's going, but then afterwards it's just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like,
it's not a show you're going to revisit.
I probably won't. I mean, maybe I will. I don't know. Maybe
it's not like Severance, where Severance is like a very like more cerebral, makes you think kind of show, right?
Yeah, this show definitely has its moments. I will say there are definitely moments that you're going to be like, whoa, like this is really good television or really good, mini series, whatever. Can't really, it feels weird. It feels weird to call it television now because nobody watches it on television. They always watch it on streaming.
Yeah, so I mean, I've enjoyed the first 2 episodes. It's like I said, it's not like Severance. I don't love it like I loved Severance. But it's fine. And it's like I feel like I haven't gotten to any of like the big stuff yet anyway. So there's that. I watched part of the the King of the Hill came back on Hulu.
I heard.
I watched part of the first episode. I think I need to like I've heard good things about the show, but like I think I'm gonna have to power through the first episode because I got about 2/3 of the way through and I was like, I don't know if I'm in it for this, but I've heard good things about the other episodes. So I think I'm just gonna like force myself to get through it.
Okay.
And then the other thing was I told you last week we went to see As You Like It at the Miller Outdoor Theater. They did their other Shakespeare play was Henry V, and they did a live stream of it on YouTube on Friday night, and so I watched that. I just finished reading Henry V. So one of my goals before I turn 40 is to have read all of the Shakespeare plays. So I've been reading them, and then like since these were like coming up, I was able to like watch them. I was like, I'll read them first, and then read the book, and then go see the movie, as they say.
No, you. What does Jerry say? He's like, hey, you watch the movie.
Yeah,
just watch the movie.
Yeah, like Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Right.
It was for my book club.
So I was gonna say in the notes when I saw that, I was like, who's Henry V?
That was who no Will Fuller the fifth. Do you remember
right,
Will Fuller?
Right, yeah. Oh yeah, I remember Will Fuller the fifth.
So I think somebody called him the Flying V at one point.
Oh, nice.
He would always have like a bomb touchdown pass and then like immediately blow out his hamstring like every year, like multiple times.
That's a shame.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's about it for me. What did you get up to, Paul?
All right, so I got a little. What's going on over here? So Criterion Challenge still going strong. 2025. I knocked out 2 more movies from the 1950s. I was really looking forward to watching this movie. It's called Night of the Hunter. Stars Robert Mitchum. He plays a preacher. Put that in quotes. Who he is sent to prison for felonious acts, let's say.
Like Felonious Monk?
Yes. And his cellmate is a guy who was sentenced to death for robbing a bank and killing 2 people. And right before he is sentenced to death, he tells Robert Mitchum's character, basically, yeah, I've got this money and I hid it, at where I live, at my home where I lived. And Robert Mitchum's like, oh, good to know. Good note.
There was the money in the banana stand?
No, actually, no, it wasn't.
But there's always money in the banana stand.
There's always money in the banana stand. But so Mitchum eventually gets out of prison. So his cellmate's put to death. Mitchum gets out of prison, and then he finds this guy's family and tries to work his way into their life, let's say. And so it's a wife and 2 kids, a boy and a girl. And basically the movie's about him trying to find this money and him trying to pass himself off as like a good person when he's very much
a criminal.
Not a good person. Yes, he is very much a criminal. I want to say he was voted, how AFI does these top 100 lists? They did a top villains list, and I want to say this character was listed on that list. You may have seen pictures of him. He'll have love and hate written on his knuckles.
Oh yeah, it wasn't that was referenced in Seinfeld. Was that referenced in Seinfeld?
Yeah,
the bookstore, Brentano's.
Yeah, so that came from, I think that directly came from Cape Fear, but that Cape Fear came from, but anyway, so yeah, actually, I think it's a mixture. So Robert Mitchum was in the original Cape Fear movie that was in I think around the same time as this movie, that was then remade by Scorsese with De Niro in the early 90s. But anyway,
gotcha.
Couldn't recommend Night of the Hunter anymore. It's a very good thriller from 1955. I want to say is when it came out.
The way you describe it also makes me think about the that episode of Justified where they he breaks out of prison to go and steal the money from under the house. And he's trying to remember where the house is, but he can't quite.
Yep.
So that
I'm sure that was a influence. Yeah. Really good, really good. And what I found surprising is the 2 kid actors are very good. But this was the only movie they ever did. It wasn't like they parlayed this into a film career of some kind. It was but yeah, I would definitely recommend it. And then the other film, it's the category was watch a film from Criterion Channel's all-time favorites list. So I watched a movie called The American Friend. So previously I talked about a movie called Paris, Texas, which is directed by a guy named Wim Wenders. He also directed this movie, The American Friend. If you're familiar with The Talented Mr. Ripley or any of those stories about Ripley, this is a Ripley story. Dennis Hopper plays, I think it's Thomas Ripley, and he is the American friend in this movie. So
he's not our American cousin.
No. He the lead character is played by, I forget the gentleman's last name, but his first name is Bruno. But he is ill. He has like this rare blood disease, and he's a picture framer. So Ripley goes to him to get some pictures framed, and Ripley's running this scam of like fake art that he then auctions off and gets a bunch of money for or whatever. Anyway, so this picture framer kind of knows Ripley's reputation, and he kind of pisses Ripley off, for lack of a better way. So Ripley gets asked to perform a hit on somebody, and he basically tells the person, he's like, I don't want to do it, but you should go hire this guy, being the picture framer. So this picture framer gets like coerced into doing this hit, and that's kind of where the story goes from there. So and he ends up doing it because he needs the money.
Gotcha.
He's needy. He needs because he's got this rare blood disease, and he wants to make sure he. It was a good movie. I definitely think it's gonna need a second watch for me, just because there was a lot of. It's they use the natural language, so meaning like, so obviously Dennis Hopper's American, but then the main character, Jonathan, I forget his last name, but the character's name is Jonathan. He is German, I want to say. So like he speaks English to Dennis Hopper, but then when he goes and talks to his family, he speaks German.
Sprechen Sie Dutch?
Right. So it's one of those you can't be on your phone during the movie. Like you gotta like.
That was like Parasite. Right. You're not scrolling Twitter with Parasite on in the background.
Right. So a couple other movies I saw. A movie that you and I talked about a couple months ago now. Barbarian.
Yep.
This was yeah, buddy.
I am aware. There are things going on in that movie, that's for sure.
I will say, when right after, a spoiler alert for Barbarian, and I kind of watched this because Weapons came out and it's the same director.
I may have to like sneak out to a movie theater to go see Weapons.
I've heard it's very good.
Yeah,
I've heard it's very good. I've heard it's like Sinners level.
I heard it sticks the landing, which a lot of horror movies do not do.
Yeah. So because of that, I decided to give Barbarian a try. I will say, cutting from Bill Skarsgård getting his head bashed up against a wall to Justin Long driving down the Santa Monica, whatever.
But it like hard turn.
Yeah, man. It's like how's Justin Long factor into this? And then they just casually mention he has this property in Michigan. It's like, oh, okay. There we go. Yeah, I thought it was really I thought it was really well done, honestly. I mean,
it gets a little weird. Like it's really well put together.
Oh, no, for sure, yeah.
But it gets a little out there, I think, is the thing.
Yeah, like for me, like what the female lead of the movie, like what she goes through, it's like, okay, would she really be surviving all of this? And of course, she makes like all of the bad decisions, like
trusting Justin Long being one of those.
Of course, yeah. There was like No, but yeah, I definitely would recommend. Would definitely recommend that one. Then two other movies I watched. Another movie that has a sequel coming out. Nobody. Have you seen this one with Bob Odenkirk?
I haven't seen the movie, but I feel like I've seen a preview for the sequel.
Yeah, the sequel's coming out this week. So basically, he plays this average-looking guy. You know, he's Bob Odenkirk. I mean, he just looks like, you know, Better Call Saul. Like, but turns out he is like ex special forces, and like I will say one of the treats of the movie is his dad is played by Christopher Lloyd of Back to the Future fame.
Marty.
Yeah. So, and it's just a really fun movie. I hope I want to see the sequel. I'm not like in a hurry to go see it. Like I won't.
Yeah, it didn't strike me as like something that I would be like, run into the theater to see.
It's a neat little movie. I will say that it's very like the way it's kind of like it's like John Wick. It's like a softer John Wick. It's like a softer version of John Wick. Basically, like his house gets robbed while they're there. He has a chance to like take out one of the robbers, and he holds up. And he lets them go. And is like, oh, I think they took my kitty cat bracelet, and then like switch flips. And
so it's like a John Wick. They killed the dog thing.
Yeah, well, that's how it starts, and yeah, then it goes from there. But it's like in reverse, because like in John Wick, the bad guys don't know who they're messing with, but in this movie,
they don't know
who. Odenkirk doesn't know who he's messing with, but like it worked, you know. So then with Glenn Powell. I did not know that this movie. Have you heard of this movie, Hitman?
What was it based on the video game?
I know which movie you're talking about. Yeah, that's the Oliphant movie. No, this is the
okay.
This is I think this was a straight to Netflix release from 2 years ago now. Glenn Powell. It's based on a true story, and it's set in New Orleans, which I didn't realize until I started watching the movie. But basically, Glenn Powell plays this professor at University of New Orleans who part-time works for the New Orleans Police Department as like a tech expert, and he ends up he goes to so what happens is they find people that are wanting to hire hitmen to kill someone, and they pose as the hitman to catch them on.
Is this like To Catch a Predator?
Kind of, but it's like so technically. Well, then he goes to one job, and the guy who's supposed to go pretend to be the hitman doesn't show up, so they get Glenn Powell to do it.
Okay. Paul, I think I lost you. Uh-oh. Well, Now we've both gone through technical difficulties. Suppose since Paul provided some sports scores, I can try to do the same. I will be camping, as he said. Let's see. What do we got here? It looks like the New York Liberty are currently leading the Aces 24-20. Into the first quarter there. The Connecticut Sun beat the Chicago Sky 71-62. The Valkyries, the new team in the league, beat the Washington Mystics 88-83. Let's see. What else have we got going on here? Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Rough day for the Rangers. Lost 6-4. Seattle tied with Baltimore 1-1 right now. Yankees and Twins tied 1-1 in the top of the fourth. Mets leading the Braves 6-0 at the end of the third. Dodgers lead the Angels 3-0 in the Shohei Ohtani revenge game. Tigers beat the White Sox 1-0. I think Paul's probably read through all of these, so we'll skip it. Any headlines now? Let's see. Well, Paul's internet has gone out, apparently, so we are just killing it tonight. So we're scheduled to talk about the NFC and AFC North. We'll try to get that to you tonight, hopefully within a few minutes. Hopefully Paul's can get his internet back up and running. We can talk about the NCAA football has their polls. We can go try and try to pull up the standings here. All right. All right, let's pull up the AP poll to start here. There you are, Paul. I was vamping. Is your internet back up and running? Coming along up. All right. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and read through the. I've got the AP poll pulled up here. My alma mater, UT, comes in at number 1. I was telling Paul before the show started that I was not particularly thrilled with this, just because I'd rather go into the season, plucky underdogs instead of having a target on our backs. I'd rather be, in the meaty part of the curve and work our way up instead of, starting out with target on our back. But they're going to have a challenge pretty much right off the bat. They open the season at Ohio State. That's going to be a tough one, noon on Fox on August 30th. So we are just 17 days away from that happening. We are, just I think 10 or 11 days from the college football. I think 10 days from the college football season kicking off. We've got the number 2, the Nittany Lions. I think this is probably the most surprising part of this, that the Penn State is ranked ahead of Ohio State, who comes in at number 3. 4, you've got the Clemson Tigers. Number 5, Georgia Bulldogs. Number 6, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. 7, Oregon. Number 8, Alabama. 9, LSU. 10, Miami. 11, Arizona State. 12, Illinois, the Fighting Illini. My favorite part of this ESPN article is the stat to know is that Illinois has never won 10 games in consecutive seasons. Number 13, they went 10-3 last year, so they'll try to break that record this year. Number 13, South Carolina. 14, Michigan. 15, Florida. 16, SMU. 17, Kansas State. 18, Oklahoma. 19, Texas A&M. 20, Indiana. 21, Ole Miss. 22, Iowa State. 23, Texas Tech and their giant influx of money. Number 24, Tennessee, and rounding out the top 25, Boise State. Now let's see if we can pull up the AP poll. Let's see if we have the coach. Get the coaches poll. All right. Coaches poll, we have Texas coming in at number 1 on this one as well. Here we have Ohio State ranked 2, which I think is a better, I think a better ranking basically. 3, Penn State. 4, Georgia. 5, Notre Dame. 6, Clemson. So Clemson down 2 spots in the coaches poll relative to the AP poll. 7, Oregon. Alabama, LSU, Miami. Those are all the same. Arizona State 11, Illinois 12, South Carolina, Michigan. Here we have the first difference since the Clemson. The coaches have Ole Miss at number 15, whereas the AP has Ole Miss at 21. SMU and then Florida. Florida is number 15 in the AP poll. Tennessee higher in the coaches poll. Indiana slightly higher, 1 spot higher. Kansas State down 3 spots here at number 20. Iowa State at 21. A&M at 21, or A&M tied with Iowa State for 21st. A&M at 19 in the AP poll. Iowa State at 22. 23rd, BYU, who will no longer have their quarterback due to the fact that he had sex. Number 24, Texas Tech, and number 25, Boise State. Looks like the coaches poll in the FCS has North Dakota State ranked number 1. Looks like they were the consensus number 1. Then Montana State, South Dakota State, Incarnate Word, and South Dakota rounding out the top 5. Division 2, we have Ferris State, who got 30 of the 31 first place votes. The other first place vote was Slippery Rock. Legendary team there. Second, Harding University, Grand Valley State. Slippery Rock coming in at number 4. And Central Oklahoma rounding out the top 5. Paul making another attempt to join us again.
Yeah, let's see if this one works.
All right.
Can you hear me?
I went through. I've gone through the coach, the AP and the coaches poll. I got through both of them. So you had gone through
Horns at the top.
Yep. Anything else to say about Hitman before we? move on to sports.
Yeah, sorry. I just had a big
They're trying to silence us, Jerry. I see you now.
Okay.
Are you getting storms over there too? No. Folks, the technology is against us today. Well, we may be revisiting the North at another time, possibly tomorrow. I'll have to talk to my host. All right. Gone through the college rankings. Paul and I did do the sports misery index. Paul's going to give a quick restart to his system, and we'll see. We'll give it one more shot. If that doesn't work, we may try to record again tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm getting some storms down here in Houston, and so we may just have to wait until those roll through. Paul and I both did the sports misery index on ESPN. They released this. You can put in your teams, and the index will shoot out a score of how miserable you are on a scale of 1 to 100. Paul was a 45 once he included all of his teams, including he originally just put in the Saints, and then he added the Mavericks and Astros after. He was at 45, which I think comes down to, I think the Mavs have won a championship within the last 14 years. Houston won 1.5 fairly recently. I was in the 80s when I put the Cowboys in, and then after I added the the Rangers and the Stars, it went down. I ended up with a very nice score of 69. Hopefully Paul gets on. We can talk about this OU story about him sending money for quote unquote sports gambling on Venmo, which I think is funny. I don't think it's. I think half the time when I send money to Venmo or Zelle or anything, most of the time I don't put what the money is actually for, unless it's someone who I would not want to make ridiculous jokes to. One of my favorites that I got from the early days of the internet was for sensual massage. So I use that one pretty regularly. But I would be shocked if it was actually for sports gambling, unless it was maybe some friendly bet between him and a friend or something. Hopefully we'll be able to talk about the preseason games. I know we got the Cowboys and the Saints both to cover. Paul probably has plenty of thoughts about Tyler Shuck. Anxious to hear those. I did watch the highlights. Looked like there were more. There were some highlights, but it looked like there were more lowlights than highlights. But we'll get Paul's thoughts on that. The Cowboys I watched most of the Cowboys game. I kind of had it on. Once it got to the third and fourth quarter, I kind of had it on in the background more or less. The Joe Milton experience was the Joe Milton experience. I did make a little bit of money playing underdogs, though. I kind of had a feeling based on what I was listening to on the Locked On Cowboys podcast that who was going to get. There were certain players like Joe Milton who were going to get large amounts of playing time relative to others. So I kind of factored that in and just kind of took a few overs based on the fact that based on kind of like my estimate, what I thought would be the playing time situation there. Paul?
Brandon?
You're back? Back for good?
Hopefully better than ever.
I've been camping quite a lot over here.
You've been
as your phone would say.
Thank you, Apple autocorrect.
I told our audience if it didn't work this time, we were just going to pack up and try again tomorrow.
We're just going to camp out tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll camp out tomorrow.
All right, so it sounds like you were talking about the Cowboys.
Yeah, I thought we could go ahead and get to. I told them that we both took the misery index test today. That you scored.
Oh yeah,
better than me. Neither one of our football teams were very good. We'll put it that we'll put that out there.
So I think our football teams were the same score, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, I think the Cowboys were like in the 80s.
Saints were in the 80s too. So it was like 84, I want to say.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But the score that you have in the document here, that is for all of our sports teams.
Right.
Now, for me, that's Saints, Mavericks, Astros.
Mm-hmm.
And then for you, I'm guessing it's Cowboys, Rangers.
Stars and Grizzlies.
Oh, Stars and okay. Yeah, see,
I think the Rangers and the Stars both took it down
a little bit.
I don't think the Grizzlies had a big effect because like for Stars, Rangers, Cowboys, like the term was like the longest one. It was like 15 plus, and then the Grizzlies was a little shorter. I was like more in the middle.
Yeah, so for those you may have explained this already, but basically low score is better.
Right. It's a habit.
So
it's like it's a measure of how miserable you are. So how miserable is like you want to be not miserable.
Yeah. So I ended up 45 when you factor in Mavericks.
Yeah, the Rangers and the Stars are doing a lot of the heavy lifting on mine to like bring it back to lower it.
Yeah, the Saints. I mean, I don't know what the Mavericks. I would imagine the Mavericks' misery's not too low with the whole Luka thing, but I mean, we got Cooper Flag, so that
it's kind of a little bit of an offset there.
Yeah.
So, you want to talk about the? I'm curious to hear your thought. I watched the highlights of the Saints game.
Okay.
So, but I did want to hear your thoughts. I saw Shuck had one pass where it looked like his wide receiver kind of made a double move and he hit somebody.
Yep.
For a touchdown pass, but he also had a touchdown pass going the other way as well.
Yeah, he did. So weird distribution of snaps, I would say. So the Rattler started the game and played. I mean, he did what Rattler did. I mean, does like it's not like he was, he did seem a little more decisive at times. Did have a turnover. He had a strip sack, which
is he number 2? Is he not like his jersey number 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so. Yeah. So one thing I should mention, Trevor Penning, who's our starting left guard, left the game early, and I think yesterday they announced he has turf toe, so he'll be out. They say 4 to 6 weeks. I mean,
you never know with the turf toe though, like it
right. I'll also mention Will Clapp, so the offensive line that started this game.
We'll clap. That's what
Right.
you do. That's what you'll do if they play well. You will clap.
Yeah, exactly. So the offensive line that started this game was basically our normal offensive line, with the exception of Eric McCoy, who's our center, did not start. Will Clapp started at center. Well, first series, Clapp gets hurt. He is now going on IR. He's going to miss the whole season. I don't remember what the injury was off the top of my head, but
maybe won't. Maybe it's won't clap.
Yeah, won't clap. Yeah. So enter, and I apologize, I'm going to mess up his first name, but I believe it's Taraselli Simpkins, who is an undrafted free agent from, I believe, South Carolina.
Taraselli.
Who came in at center and played basically the rest of the game at center and did very well for himself. And the reason I bring him up is because now with Penning out for an extended period of time, Penning's immediate backup was a guy that they signed from the Titans in the offseason, Dylan Radins. Radins? I don't know how to pronounce
Radins, like the guy from Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, exactly. Well, the guy from Mortal Kombat probably blocks better than him. He did not do well. And the reason I bring up Simpkins is because I'm kind of hoping Simpkins gets a little more playing time, because he acquitted himself very well in the game on Sunday. So offensive line depth, not great. Wide receiver, playmaker depth, not great. Like I said, Rattler played, he had the one fumble, strip sack fumble, which, again, his offensive line got beat. I mean, you can look at it however you want. It is what it is.
What's Michael Thomas doing these days?
He's still getting paid by the Saints for what it's worth. But he will not be playing for the Saints, I don't think. So Rattler played basically the first quarter and a half, and then Shuck gets thrown in at the 2-minute drill and leads a good drive, leads to a field goal. I mean, they kicked the field goal right before halftime. Had Kevin Austin Jr. on a go route that, if he just leads them a little better, then he gets a touchdown there to go with the touchdown he would get later, to the one that you mentioned, to Mason Tipton. But yeah, I mean, look, he looked pretty good. So the way Chris Sims kind of put it, I'm not a huge Chris Sims fan, but I think he made a decent point when he said this on Pro Football Talk the other day. If you watch how the Saints called the game from Rattler to Shuck, play calling, you can tell which quarterback they want starting week 1, which is to say, feels like
Rattler, right?
Well, I don't think so. I think the way they called the game with Shuck, the play calling with Shuck felt a little more. I don't know what word to use. Good, right? Like with Rattler, it was core. Yeah, it was almost like. And look, say what you will. I mean, Rattler, he's got to make the plays. Like he's got to work with what he's got. But Shuck, I think he acquitted himself pretty well. Obviously, what you mentioned, throwing the pick six, which, by the way, if you watch the play, the Chargers corner, who is also a rookie, I believe it was Eric Rogers, he makes a hell of a play to get that interception and then to get up. So kudos to him. But then kudos also to Kellen Moore to call that go route when he did, and 2, for Shuck to put it on the money for Tipton so that he could walk in for a touchdown. So, look, Shuck played like a rookie. Like, it's not like I'm not gonna, he's not. I'm not going to say he's Peyton Manning. I'm not going to say he's Johnny Manziel. Like
You're not gonna say he's Joe Milton.
I'm not going to say he's Joe Milton. Right? Yeah. I won't let you. I won't make you rehash what you probably.
I'm gonna hash. You're gonna hear.
You haven't discussed that yet.
I didn't get into the deep into the weeds yet on Joe Milton.
The one thing I will say, another encouraging thing from this game, the defensive line, the pressures looked better. Now, it looked better when the quarterback was Taylor Heineke, but when it was Trey Lance, a quarterback who can actually move, that still was a problem. So, new defensive coordinator, same problem for the Saints. Can't play against the quarterback that can get out of the pocket. So, but there was some, like Christian Boyd had a safety that got called back. So they called it a safety.
I did see that. Yeah, they reviewed it and overturned it basically.
Yeah. And so it was good to see. Christian Boyd was a former 6th round pick out of Northern Iowa. So it's good to see him get some work in. Danny Stutzman, the linebacker out of Oklahoma, who's gotten a lot of praise in camp. You could see some of that in the game. He definitely was
the cracker with the juice.
Cracker with the juice. That's right. And then also Isaiah Stallbird had a very nice blitz called blitz at one point. So a lot of good, I would say. Now, obviously, we talked about the bad Penning out. Alante Taylor apparently has a groin injury that didn't happen in the game. He didn't play in the game. It happened in practice at the end of last week. Kellen Moore talked about that yesterday or today. The Saints are going to have a joint practice tomorrow with the Rams out there in California before they fly back to New Orleans for their preseason game Sunday against the Jaguars. So
yeah, the Cowboys had joint practice with the Rams before their game with the Rams last week.
Yeah, Kellen Moore talked about it today. He basically said, he likes the way Sean McVay runs these kind of joint practices. They did it. They did it with the Cowboys when Kellen Moore was there. So he kind of took it as an opportunity to
steal some ideas.
Because like you said, like you can only play against your own team so many times.
Yeah.
But anyway, so look, it kind of sunk in for me. Because I figured this was going to be a long season, but then after this game, it's like, oh yeah, this is going to be a long.
It's going to be a rough one.
It's going to be a rough one. My initial projection of 4-13 may have been too optimistic, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what we think.
Do you want to talk about Mr. Milton?
Yeah, before I do that, I would like to point out, as I sent to you, I did cash that bet on this game. So I had Joe Milton higher than 129.5 passing yards, Joshua Carty higher than 1.5 extra points made, Phil Maffa over 34.5 rushing yards, and Jalen Brooks over 18.5 receiving yards. All four of those hit, so my $4 bet paid out $29.60. Rolling in it over here, Paul.
Hey, good. That's good to hear, buddy.
Yep,
happy for you.
Good start.
Were you sweating the Milton?
The Milton one took a little while to get there because I don't know. So Joe Milton can throw the ball very far.
Yeah.
Joe Milton is very athletic. Everything that happens between the time that the ball gets snapped and Joe Milton throws the ball far is pretty ugly. There was a lot of him patting the ball multiple times. He was late with throws. he throws the ball really hard, no matter where the receiver is on the field. I sent you that one clip of somebody of the what was like Joe Milton that had got the guy just gunning the ball as hard as he could at people. It was like Peyton Manning when he's like throwing at the kids. He's like
the Saturday Night Live.
Get your head out of your
So it sounds like you can potentially understand why the Patriots would trade Joe Milton.
Yeah, I don't think Dak has anything to worry about his job security right now. There was a lot of like, you could see he was like locking on to receivers a lot of times, and like he was just like, that's who I'm throwing to, like come hell or high water, and like he's not like he's like a one read guy right now, like so that. There's a lot to clean up with him. I mean, if it ever clicks, he could be amazing. But right now, he's just a bunch of, as Derek Klassen said on the Athletic Football Show, he's just a bunch of tools. That's like he's a great theoretical. He's one of those great theoretical quarterbacks, but he's not. He hasn't quite like. Anyone can take the snap.
Yeah, anyone can
anyone can take the snap. Anyone can throw the ball.
Well, So we'll hold off on Milton for MVP.
Yeah,
just yet.
You want to crown him the crown. I will not be crowning him. The Cowboys did. They were pass heavy. And I don't know if that's because they kind of wanted to get Milton more reps on certain things. But when they did run the ball, I thought they ran it effectively. They ran film off quite a bit. The 7th round guy that they got out of Clemson, he looked good. He kind of like, he's not a speed guy. He's more of a power back, but he was decisive with the runs. He looked like he was able to, get to the hole and pick up yardage. It looked like even despite who was playing on the offensive line, because none of the starters played, I thought they were able to open up some holes in the run game. The run defense, I think, is a little concerning. That being said, they didn't really start a lot of people. Ezeraku was out there and playing pretty well. I think Mozzie was out there and had some struggles, which he was like very open about. Like he's like, basically came out and said that wasn't good enough. I think he's been very accountable about it. I think some of that is also the fact the run game struggles were like Sean McVay's run offense is hard to play against, even when you're game planning, even when you've got your starters, and they're still doing all their motions and all of their sort of like, window dressing on the plays in the preseason. Like that's going to be tough to stop.
One thing you just reminded me, the Saints, I think, were in like the top half preseason week 1 and using motion, which last year they were towards the bottom of the league. So obviously that, or maybe not towards the bottom, but they used it a little more, I think.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that the Cowboys have done more in camp, to start. They've like ramped up their use of motion and play action. The run defense struggled, but I think there are some mitigating factors there. So I'll hold off on like panicking for now. But those were like the big takeaways. Like Joe Milton kind of had something like going on with his forearm or hand late in the game, and so Will Grier came in and closed it out. I wonder if Will Grier is like the number 2 guy kind of going in. He feels a lot like Cooper Rush in that he's got kind of a safe floor. Like maybe if you just need to get through a couple of games, like you use Joe Milton or you use Will Grier there, and then if Dak ends up like he's going to miss like pretty much the whole rest of the season, then you turn to Milton. You just give Milton the keys and like let him figure it out, basically.
It almost feels like, and I don't want to wish this upon you, but it almost feels like a Derek Carr, Spencer Rattler, Jake Hayner type situation where it's like Carr's the starter, the obvious starter. You kind of would like Rattler to be number 2, but in reality, Hayner's probably number 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what ended up happening last year. It's like, well, if Carr's going to miss these games, let's figure out what we have with Rattler.
Right.
And
yeah, let's figure out what we got. Let's see what Joe Milton actually is.
Right.
Let's see if he can figure it out.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, you guys are hoping for Dak to be healthy. Who's the lineman that you guys lost? Robert Jones?
Jones, yeah.
He's on IR.
He's going to be, I don't know. He's not out for the season, but he's going to,
Okay.
I think he's got like a broken bone in his neck, which,
ooh, yeah, that's,
yeah. So he's going to be out for a little while.
I'd be out for life.
Yeah. At that point, maybe he needs an epidural.
Yeah. 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 It's the, yeah, because that's the big thing right now. We'll talk about it as we go through these previews, but like this is the injury time of season. Like we kind of made the joke about if you say the letters ACL this time of year, you know, but it really is, man. Like there's just been like these things have popped up, and that's what you're kind of looking out for. You know, we talked about before we went live, talked about Stafford with the Rams, which we'll preview the West in 2 weeks, and by the time we get to that, who knows where we are with that.
We may be doing some heavy revisions on the schedule. Yeah,
on the fly. Yeah, like I could see us like right before we record that episode. It's like, yeah, Stafford's out for whatever, a couple weeks, or hopefully at worst for the Rams. All right. Speaking of which, are you ready to get into our
Let's get into the North.
To the North. All right. So, as we did last week, we will start with the AFC. So we'll do the AFC North first, then the NFC North. We're going to go in reverse order of finish from last season. And then for each of these, we'll kind of go through their offseason moves, talk about what they did. I've got a wager for every team. We'll talk about the rankings where I have, their quarterback, the coach, the team themselves. So we'll do that. And then, and then at the end, once we've previewed every team in the division, we'll give our predictions for 2025 for divisional rankings. All right. So I would say of the 8 teams we're going to talk about today, the first team we're going to talk about here is the one that does not belong, which is the Cleveland Browns. Finished 3-14 in 2024. Their over/under, according to our friends at Rebet, this year is 4.5. So in the offseason, as far as signings, they did re-sign Myles Garrett to a big deal. Kenny Pickett came over in a trade from the Eagles, and they re-signed Jack Conklin. They lost Jameis Winston, who is now with the New York Football Giants. They also lost 2 offensive linemen, Jedrick Willis and James Hudson. In the draft, they had the number 2 pick initially, but they traded back with the Jacksonville Jaguars so the Jaguars could select Travis Hunter. They ended up drafting Mason Graham, also drafted Carson Schlesinger, linebacker from UCLA. Quinshon Judkins, who I don't think is going to be on the football field anytime soon, pending his legal battle that he's got going on right now. Harold Fannin, tight end out of Miami of Ohio, I believe, or Bowling Green, one of those. Got a lot of buzz coming out. And then obviously the 2 quarterbacks, Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders. We'll talk about them here in a little bit. And then also a running back from Tennessee, Dylan Sampson, that had a lot of buzz coming out of college. So for the AFC North this year will play the AFC East, which we talked about last week. Mm-hmm. And they also play the NFC North. So we kind of get a double dip here. when we talk about them. For the Browns, as a result of their last place finish last year, their 3 extra games are the Raiders, the Titans, and the 49ers.
Congrats.
Yeah. Congrats on that 49ers game. God, that 49ers schedule, man. Well, we'll talk about them in 2 weeks, but they're
I know.
Yeah, it's kind of so. Yeah, listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. It's going to be a race between them and the Saints for like the worst team in the NFL. I honestly think.
How many games do you think Joe Flacco gets before they start rotating through all their other? Well, first of all, who do you think even makes the roster at this point?
So we should bring this up. So Shador obviously played well this past weekend.
He had a few moments where he looked like a rookie quarterback, where he would run backwards, which you shouldn't do.
Right.
But he had a couple of, like, the 2 touchdown passes that he had were really good. The first one was like a really good pass on the money. The second one, he kind of like moved in the pocket well, and then threw a strike. I know preseason football you should like take with a grain of salt because nobody's playing any coverage, but like it could have gone really poorly, and I thought he handled himself well, and I think he's kind of it seems like he's handling himself better than he did in the pre-draft process. You know, kind of like taking responsibility and saying like, hey, like I don't want my dad to be here because like I don't want him to be a distraction, basically. So he did play well, I thought.
Yeah, and we should mention, so obviously they're not playing Flacco in the preseason because
because Flacco was born like 2 centuries ago.
Right. Kenny Pickett's got an injury. I think Dylan Gabriel has some kind of
he's got something nagging.
Ailment.
Yeah.
And then that came out today that Shador Sanders has a oblique injury, and because originally yesterday I think they came out and said Shador was going to start against Philadelphia this weekend, but then today they came out and said he may not even play at all. So they signed former Pro Bowler Snoop Huntley. So like they officially have like 6 quarterbacks now, because if you count Deshaun too.
If you want to talk about quarterbacks that I don't need to see anything else from, like, I am all the way out on Snoop Huntley, buddy.
But I mean, the thing is like they just need them to get through a.
They just need warm bodies, right?
They just need a body. Like they might as well call like Ian Book or like some. I mean, I don't know. Like just find somebody.
What do you think you could get for Jake Haener at this point?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he's basically out of the running for the starting job in New Orleans. So
really, I can't believe got a real Ralph Nader situation going on over there.
His days are numbered for sure. I mean, I don't think we need to spend too much time on this, but to answer your question about the quarterback, I mean, I guess it's going to be Flacco. Depending on how serious the Pickett injury is, Pickett, I guess, would be the backup. And then it just becomes, do you go Dylan Gabriel? Do you go Shador Sanders? I really would like to see Dylan Gabriel play. But again, I know he's got a...
Surely they won't... Do you think they'll keep 4 quarterbacks? Like, do you think they'll try to sneak somebody onto a practice squad?
I mean, it wouldn't shock me.
Jerry is itching to if Shador goes on the practice squad, oh baby.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be the interesting thing. Like him playing as well as he did this past week makes this an interesting conversation. Not that he might make the roster for Cleveland, but like what other teams? I mean, other teams have got to be at least keeping an eye on the situation, right. I would think.
I wonder if it's a situation where can you like try to like claim that he has an injury and throw him onto IR for somebody to try to like stash?
Sure. I mean, you can try it. I think if Flacco is healthy, so obviously we've seen Flacco 2 years ago come come in off the couch and help this team make the playoffs, right? Was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, because he wasn't with the Browns like this past season, was he? Wasn't he somewhere else?
No, that's true. Yeah, he was with the Colts. He was the backup for the Colts.
Oh, that's right.
And he played horribly. But
well, you remember what happened in that playoff game with the Browns like a couple of years ago
with the Texans. Yeah.
Like that's where it's all fell apart.
Yeah. But I mean, if he can, I'm not saying he has to play like he did when he first joined the Browns 2 seasons ago, but like you got to think, like at this point, they just need somebody to get him through 17 games, right? Like,
I don't know if they're gonna. I feel like they're not gonna try to. I don't think they're gonna try to let him play all 17. I feel like eventually, it's gonna get to a point where you have to say, okay, let's see what one of the kids can do.
Yeah, I mean, here let's look at check a look at their schedule real quick. Let me pull it up here. Oh, forgot I'm working. I'm just like last week. I'm working with 2 different computers here, so bear with me. Okay, so the Cleveland Browns will begin the season hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. Then they are at the Baltimore Ravens. They're hosting the Green Bay Packers. They're at the Detroit Lions. They go to London, I think, to play the Vikings. Is that right? Is it they have a home game against them? It's a home game for them, but it's overseas.
Yeah, it's against Cleveland. Yes,
against Minnesota, against the Vikings.
Yeah.
And then they have at the Steelers, home Dolphins, at Patriots, at Jets, home Ravens. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. This is going to be it's going to be tough sledding for them for sure. Although I will say, I wouldn't be shocked if they beat the Bengals week 1.
That's what I was going to say. Based on the Bengals' history of like September, like there is a non-zero chance that the Browns win that game.
Well, and for some reason Burrow against the Browns struggles. Like he just like they have, and we'll talk about the Bengals a little more here in a second. But so like let's play this out. So let's say they beat the Bengals, right? Let's say Flacco plays competently, like we should also mention that they don't have Nick Chubb, right? Nick Chubb is now, I forget where he went. Oh, Houston. He's in Houston.
Yeah,
went to Texas. So and their defense, like Browns defense should be good. I mean,
serviceable at least.
Serviceable, yeah. Jim Schwartz, the former Lions coach, is their defensive coordinator. So, yeah, they definitely should be good to go there. So they'll be in games, but to your point, like the quarterback's the big sticking point here. I would say I think when they come back from London, if they come back from London, that might be with a time where you say, okay, let's see what one of these rookie quarterbacks have. But this is one of the most fascinating bad teams that we've seen in a while, I will say. Because it's like we know they're going to be bad, but like what's their quarterback situation going to be? So, yeah. I don't know if you have anything else on the Browns.
No. What do you have their record at? Are we going to do that at the end?
We'll do it at the end when we do our.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that at the end. Do you want to move on? Do you want to take the next team here?
Our next team up is the Cincinnati Bengals. How do you spell Cincinnati? That's a good question. They finished 9-8 last year in 2024. Missed the playoffs. Their over/under this season is 9.5 games. They signed Jamar Chase and T. Higgins to contract extensions, as well as they also signed B.J. Hill,
but not Trey Hendrickson.
Not Trey Hendrickson yet, who has reported to camp though.
That's true.
He is holding in now instead of holding out.
That's true.
They lost offensive guard Alex Kappa, defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins, and edge Sam Hubbard. Speaking of unsigned players, he signed now, though, isn't he?
He's signed now.
Okay.
At the time I wrote this up, he was not signed, but yes.
Okay.
I
was going to say, I thought he had signed for some reason. Shamar Stewart, who's now signed, Demetrius Knight Jr., Dylan Fairchild. Their 2025 non-division schedule, like we said, they play the AFC East and the NFC North. Their other 3 games are the Broncos, Jaguars, and Cardinals.
Yeah, so this team, we kind of alluded to this a minute ago. So started slow last year, and I remember there were so many weeks on the show I'd come on and be like, all right, this is the week. Bengals they're gonna kick it into gear. They're gonna, get going. Here we go. You and me. It's like Jerry and George writing the pilot.
Mm-hmm.
And then they lay an egg against whoever they're playing that week.
Like the Browns.
Like the Browns. Or no, there was one specific. What was the game? There was a game where it's like, okay, this is it. They're gonna get it going. I'd have to go back through their schedule for last year, but
you keep talking. I'll look up their schedule.
Yeah,
because I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there was one game where it's like, okay, this is when they're going to start the push, and then they
start their comeback.
And then they ended up. I remember at the end of the season, they had a game against Denver that they won in like overtime. It was like one of the better games of the year. And then the next week, Denver had to lose, and Kansas City didn't play anybody, and Denver ended up.
Well, and you remember they should have lost to the Cowboys with Cooper Rush too,
right?
Like on that Monday night game, like that.
Game, yeah.
That's how bad that defense was. Is like the Cowboys at that point were DOA, and they still needed a miracle.
And
Leon Lett play.
And I should have mentioned this in the notes, but they did lose, or they fired, or they parted ways, whatever you want to call it, with Lou Amarano. Lou Aramano, I can't remember.
Lou Amaretto?
Amaretto, thank you. He is.
I don't know if that's his real. I just said Amaretto.
But they hired Al Golden from Notre Dame. In fact, I saw. I think it was yesterday or the day before. Al Golden was awarded like best defensive coordinator in college football last year, and the Bengals actually presented him his trophy at training camps. So,
very interesting
to Al Golden there. But so listen, this defense, this team is definitely in like peak Saints Breeze era
/ Romo Cowboys,
right? Where it's like Burrow, and look, I would not be shocked this year if Burrow threw for 5,000 yards and this team finished 8-9. Like I would not be surprised at all. As a Saints fan, I've seen this movie before. Where like, and now here's the thing though, Breeze, and this is all due respect to all the receivers that Breeze had over his time, he never had a Jamar Chase or a T Higgins. Like he never had that combination of receivers. I mean, he had Marcus Colston, who was very good.
Who was Devery Henderson?
He had Devery Henderson, but I mean, Jamar Chase and T Higgins are like another level of good, I would say.
How many games does T Higgins miss this year? 5?
That's a good question. Or Jamar Chase too. When Chase has battled injury a little bit too, I think. Huh?
Yeah, the Higgins is the one that a little more.
Yeah, what's their depth chart look like when it comes to?
Well, they have another. Well, they have that running back too, Chase Brown, who's also really good.
Right.
They released Zach Moss last week actually.
Right. Yeah.
Because that was someone that I talked about maybe the Cowboys would go after.
Okay. Yeah.
Jamar Chase actually played 17 games last year.
Okay. Well, I don't know why I thought he had a injury. So their third receiver right now is listed as Andre Isovas.
Yeah, Agasolis or what? There's a lot of vowels in there.
Yeah. from Princeton, right? Wasn't he the kid from Princeton that they drafted? They did sign.
I can't even say the guy's name. You expect me to know what college he went to?
They did sign Noah Fant. So Noah Fant was released by the Seahawks, and then he kind of went on a tour. He visited with the Saints too, but ended up going to Cincinnati. Mike Gesicki, who's their normal starting tight end, looks like he's got an injury he's dealing with right now.
Yoshivas, that's it. Andre Yoshivas.
Do you know?
He did go to Princeton.
It's time for everybody's favorite game, Brandon. Do you know who the backup quarterbacks are for the Cincinnati Bengals?
It's not that guy that they had a couple of years ago that was really good, actually.
Jake Browning.
Browning, that was it.
But do you know who the third string quarterback is?
Why don't you just tell me who the third string quarterback?
A Bless Them Boys favorite, Desmond Ridder.
Desmond Ridder, he's still kicking around the league. Good on him.
He's quickly becoming an immaculate grid legend because I think he was with Atlanta, he was with Arizona, now Cincinnati. I want to say he was with somebody else.
Oh, he's with the Raiders.
Right. The Raiders. Yeah.
Oh, it looks like he didn't. He didn't play for the Cardinals though.
Oh, he never got. Okay.
Yeah, he never got on the field.
That's a shame. Yeah. Listen, this offense, and then from another former Saint that's now in the Bengals, Lucas Patrick, who was with the Saints last year, is also a former Bear as well, but he's starting.
Oh, Khalil Herbert was on this team last year.
Yeah. So I'm saying, man, like this team, like this, that they're gonna push that 9.5 number. We'll talk about.
Did you see their defense against the Eagles? Because it looked pretty.
Yeah. Who was Tanner McKee? Tanner McKee was like lighting them up. Yeah.
Well, they showed a running play, and it looked like I could have scored a touchdown on that play. Like that you could have driven a truck through that hole, as they used to say.
Wow. So yeah, I mean, if you're a Saints fan who remembers like 2014, 2015, Breeze with that defense throwing for like 5,000 yards and finishing 8-9 or 9-7, whatever it was. That's probably what this. I mean, and then the Trey Hendrickson thing looms over this team also. We'll see if that ever gets resolved. What's Zach? Actually, sorry, I totally forgot to do this with the Browns. So let me do this now with both of these teams. The Browns. Let me get my rankings here. I have the Browns. So overall team ranking, I have them 32nd. Quarterback, I actually have 27th, which that probably should be 32nd. I'd have to go back and see. Stefanski is a coach. I have him middle of the pack. I have him 17th because he is a good coach,
but he didn't have a lot to work with over there, does he?
Right. Like I meant to bring this up when we were talking about the Browns. Like I feels like I think we've talked about this before on the show. It almost feels like he's just gonna quit at some point. Like
it feels like he's gonna be the George Costanza trying to get the Mets job.
Trying to get fired.
Yeah, he's going to be driving around with the AFC Championship trophy attached to the back of his car.
He's going to wear Jim Brown's old uniform.
Yep. George Steinbrenner, or what was Bob Brown? Yeah. You are an idiot.
Okay, so I just went on this screed about the Bengals about them. I have their team ranking as 6th. so obviously their offense. That's mostly based on their offense.
The offense covers a lot of warts. You got to think, based on the number of games they lost where they scored 30 points, the defense doesn't even need to be good. It just needs to be competent.
And again, going back to my experience with the Saints, they would get a new defensive coordinator like Rob Ryan, and the defense would be good. Just like that change would make them good for a little while, and then they'd regress. Dennis Allen would become the defensive coordinator.
It's like Flowers. It's like a Flowers for Algernon situation.
Right. From a quarterback perspective, I have Burrow ranked 3rd. Let me see who I have him. I have him behind Mahomes and Lamar. I have him ahead of Josh Allen.
Ooh.
That's just me. I know. Well, Burrow's been to a Super Bowl, for what it's worth.
He's also played at LSU, so we might have some Louisiana bias going.
Yeah, sure, why not? From a coach,
a little bit of home cooking.
From a coach ranking perspective, I have Zach Taylor. I actually have Zach Taylor behind Stefanski. I have him 18th.
I think I probably would too.
Let me ask you this: if Kevin Stefanski was the coach of the Bengals, maybe you feel a little better.
I feel probably a little better. I feel like it's. I never know what to like. How
Zach Taylor feels like the offensive version of Dennis Allen.
Yeah, like I don't know what.
Yeah,
what does he do well? Like I don't know. Like
what is it you do here?
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel sometimes.
What is it you do here?
Because
apparently Burrow's become very vocal, like with the front office, like, hey, we need to do this, we need to do this. You know? And I mean, I could see a scenario where if things go south again this year, maybe
it's time to like make a change.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I could. I mean, because they fired the defensive coordinator,
right?
At that point, you probably just say, okay, we gave you another shot, and it's not working.
Right.
Let's try to do this again.
Yeah. So all that to say, and then I have them. Why do I have? I must have been. Was I smoking something when I was doing these rankings? I don't know. Maybe I was.
There's an episode of Rules of Engagement where Jeff gets in an argument because Jeff is the putty character. Okay. He gets into an argument with somebody because he's a big Mets fan, and he gets into an argument with someone who's a Yankees fan, and because he says, yeah, the Yankees just buy the title buy a championship every year, and the Yankees fan is like, most of the Yankees talent is homegrown. And he's like, yeah, you must be smoking some homegrown.
All right. Anything more about the Bengals here before we
move on to the
Pittsburgh Steelers?
Black and gold.
The other black and gold.
Yes.
Give me 1 second here. I'm just
Paul, I've already put the graphic up on the screen. It says Pittsburgh. Look at that.
Pittsburgh Steelers 10-7 in 2024. Lost in the AFC wild card round to the Ravens, I believe.
Correct.
Was. They're over under this year 8.5. Obviously, a couple big moves for them this offseason. Traded for DK Metcalf. They brought in Aaron, Aaron Rodgers, Mason Rudolph. That was a re-signing, right? Rudolph. Well, he was with Tennessee last year.
It's a return. It's a homecoming for him.
They also re-signed Jalen Warren at running back. Looks like he's going to be running back 1 because Najee Harris is now with the Chargers.
And also blowing his face up with fireworks.
I thought about this. Didn't we say that episode right before July 4th?
Yeah, don't blow. Don't. He didn't listen. Najee, we had you.
I did want to mention this. They also just recently signed Andrus Peat, Saints select, former first-round pick of the Saints.
The Pete. The Pete. That sounds more like Ireland. No, we were right on the border.
They did lose both their starting quarterbacks from last year. Justin Fields is with the Jets now. Russell Wilson with the Giants. Dan Moore, offensive lineman, he went to one of the teams we talked about last week, I think. I can't remember who it was now off the top of my head. In the draft, they had a pretty good draft. They didn't have a lot of picks, but they had quality, I would say. Derek Harmon from Oregon, Caleb Johnson, who had a pretty good stiff arm there on Travis Hunter the other night. I don't know if you saw that in there.
I did not see that.
Game. Also got Jack Sawyer, 2 Ohio State guys, Jack Sawyer, defensive end, and Will Howard, who's dealing with an injury right now, I think. So won't be seeing him in this preseason, I don't believe. And then an Iowa kid, Yaya Black.
I thought it was Yaya.
Tackle. Yaya, sure.
Yeah. The Yaya sisterhood.
Him too. Yeah, him too. The Steelers. So again, AFC East, NFC North for them. Their 3 extra games are the Chargers, the Colts, and the Seahawks. So we get a Super Bowl rematch this season of Seahawks Steelers from
one of the worst. That's one of the worst Super Bowls I ever remember watching. It was pretty low down on the totem pole, I would say.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But hey, Jerome Bettis won a Super Bowl, so good for him.
All right, I just remember having to watch Sean Alexander run the ball.
Yeah, that too. So I put this in the notes. I think we've talked about this before. Is this the toughest test for Tomlin in his coaching career?
It's like he keeps trying to turn up the difficulty level.
It's like he's like, oh, you don't think I'll finish above 500? Watch this, And I've got to say, like, that's kind of the reason. I mean, I mentioned this last week. I think when we were talking about this week's episode. I believe in Mike Tomlin. I mean, I get it. Like, Rodgers is not the easiest person to work with. He sucked last year.
You don't say.
Like I totally understand it, but like Mike Tomlin's a pretty damn good coach. I mean, he's
I think this is the year I'm out on this. This is where I say I'm going to take a stand. I say this is it. This is it.
Stone cold lead pipe lock of the century.
They're under 500 this year.
All right. We'll see. I think one of the strengths of this team is going to be the defense. With TJ Watt just got paid.
Let me see it. Let me say it. Put it this way: if the defense isn't the strength of this team, then I don't think they have a strength.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, the problems that they're going to run into, aside from obviously we talked about the Rodgers thing, is the offensive line. Can they run the ball? I think is because obviously Arthur Smith is their offensive coordinator. Arthur Smith is a fan of running the football, so that's where everything's going to start for them. We mentioned Caleb Johnson is the running back. Jalen Warren, do they re-sign? This is going to be running back 1. Kenneth Gainwell comes over from the Eagles.
Former Memphis product there.
Yeah. At wide receiver, they've got DK Metcalf, we mentioned. They also have Calvin Austin III. Looks like he's fighting an injury right now. Robert Woods.
Another Memphis product. Calvin Austin
Jr., yeah. Scotty Miller from the Tampa Bay. Roman Wilson. Pat Freiermuth at tight end. They brought in Jonnu Smith. This kid, Darnell Washington, I don't know if you saw him in the preseason game. He's a big dude. This is a kid from Georgia that's like 6'8" and like 270 or something like that.
He's only 6'8" and he's only 270. He must be a pretty thin guy.
So their offensive line, they got Zach Frazier at center, Troy Fatanu, who they drafted last year, Mason McCormick, a young offensive line. So we'll see how that works.
Yeah, I think I haven't.
Go ahead.
I haven't. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I did hear like someone was talking about their the Caleb Johnson situation, who I liked kind of coming out of college, and said like it hasn't. That he's had a little bit of struggles, which I think may also be like offensive line related too. I think it may not be on him.
Could be.
And so like that kind of worries me if they're going to need to be like a ground and pound team and they're not able to pound. That's going to be that might be that might spell a little bit of trouble, I think.
Yeah. Have you been keeping up with this Cameron Hayward contract thing? Like
no, I like it.
Apparently he's not. It just kind of came out of nowhere almost. Like he's just like all of a sudden was like, yeah, I'm not happy with my contract or something like that.
Oh no, I was thinking of the Raiders guy for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know, but no, I haven't seen that. I hadn't seen the Hayward thing.
Yeah. Yeah, he came, like I said, it kind of came out of nowhere. And of course, everybody on Twitter starts with the fake boohoo of like, so this is from Adam Schefter about a week ago. With little fanfare, Steelers 4-time All-Pro defensive tackle Cameron Hayward hasn't fully participated in practice yet this summer as he awaits a restructured contract that has not gotten done. Hayward's scheduled to make $14.75 million this season, with $13.45 million of that already having been earned as a roster bonus in March. He's seeking a raise in a defensive market that has experienced a reset this offseason. So yada, yada, yada. So maybe something to keep an eye on, because I know that TJ Watt got taken care of. So maybe Cam Hayward might be next to get taken care of. Let's take a look at their rankings here. So I have the team ranking. I have them right in that meaty part of the curve, 17th. Quarterback ranking, I have 19th. That's what I was updating right before, because like I had Rodgers higher, and I'm like, no, I can't. Now coach ranking, I have Tomlin 3rd.
Okay, that's pretty high.
Again, I mean, like he's won a Super Bowl, never finished below 500. Like
I know, and you come from the I had to watch Dennis Allen coach my team school of thought.
Exactly. Yeah, Steelers fans, if you're ready to get rid of Tomlin, we have a play. Now, let's see what Kellen Moore can do this year. But
Paul just wants a measure of competence.
Yeah,
is that so much to ask for?
That's all I want. Let's take a look at their schedule real quick. Let's pull it up here. I think I had it. Nope, that's the Browns schedule. Pull up I know they start off with the Jets, because that's the double revenge game. We talked about that last week.
Yep.
But then they have the Super Bowl rematch with Seattle, week 2. So that'll be must miss. Then they
were playing that game in my backyard, I wouldn't raise the blinds.
Then they go to New England. Then they have a trip overseas with Minnesota. So they are the first of Minnesota's 2. Remember, Minnesota has back-to-back games in London.
Overseas.
Or no, overseas.
Yeah.
One's in Ireland and the other's in London. Is that right?
Oh yeah, because something like that.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, this is the game in Ireland, I believe. Vikings at Steelers. Then they come back home against Cleveland, go to Cincinnati, Green Bay, and Indianapolis both at home. They go to the Chargers. They host the Bengals. They go to the Bears. They have a back-to-back home Buffalo at Baltimore, which that's
pretty tough.
That's pretty tough. They do host the Steelers. They host the Dolphins on a Monday night late in the season. Have a late trip, like week 16 game against the Lions at Detroit, that's kind of odd. And then they close out at Cleveland, home Baltimore. I mean, again, like the schedule's not. I wouldn't say it's. I mean, they're obviously the teams in their division is going to be tough, and then obviously playing the NFC North is not going to be a cakewalk, but it seems reasonable. I mean, it seems feasible. I mean, the AFC East is not. We talked about it last week. I don't think the AFC East is a juggernaut of a division.
A lot of this is just going to come down to how competent, how long does Aaron Rodgers hold up, and what are they able to get out of him? Is it enough to can their defense hold on enough to keep them within games? Because I don't see this team like lighting up scoreboards. I feel like they're going to be ball control possession, and can you get enough out of your offense to get you over the hump in a lot of these games?
Yeah, I'm on your. I agree with you. But yeah, we'll see. They definitely will be one of the more interesting teams to keep an eye on week to week.
This feels like a team that we're gonna know within, like, I would say 5 weeks about how well this is gonna go.
It might be shorter than that, because like if they lose to the Jets week 1, then it's
then you start sounding the alarms.
Yeah. All right. So the last team here. Do you want to, or anything more on the Steelers before we?
No, I think we can move on to the reigning division champs. The Baltimore Ravens finished 12-5 in 2024 and lost in the AFC divisional round to the Buffalo Bills. Over/under of 11.5 offseason. They re-signed Ronnie Stanley. They brought in ancient DeAndre Hopkins, former Cowboy.
Still chasing that ring, DeAndre Hopkins.
Good luck with that, buddy. Former Cowboy legend Cooper Rush, who threw a pick. What was it? Was it a pick six or just an interception with his first attempt?
I think it was an interception.
Oh yeah, it was an interception. Got off to a great start in Baltimore.
Because I think I texted you Cooper Rush at quarterback for the Ravens, and then the next text was interception.
I was at fencing. I got my phone out of my bag as I was leaving, and I saw that, and I just laughed.
Yeah.
And then they also brought in former Packer Jair Alexandra. They lost offensive guard Patrick McCarry, cornerback Brandon Stevens, and linebacker Malik Harrison. They drafted Malachi Starks, Mike Green, and Emory Jones Jr. And their schedule includes the Chiefs, the Texans, and the Rams.
Yeah, so they got the bad end of that first place schedule came into play there.
Although that Rams matchup may or may not be as frightening as we think right now.
Yeah, we'll look here in a little bit to see when that's happening.
I think this is just like we'll just keep talking about this until it happens. If it happens, is this year for Baltimore?
Yeah, they're I put them in the Buffalo category of like one of those teams at some point has to like
get over the hump.
And now we'll talk about the AFC West in 2 weeks, but maybe this is the year where they don't have to beat the Chiefs. If you catch my drift. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of bad on this team, I would say. Lamar's very easily could be a 3-time MVP right now. He definitely his maturation under Todd Monken has been impressive from a passing standpoint. So he's definitely, kind of getting to another level of play. I will say this: we kind of joked about Cooper Rush.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the best backup they've had under Lamar? I know Snoop Huntley made a Pro Bowl.
Well,
I get it, but
I think the important thing about bringing Cooper Rush in is that if Lamar goes out, you can still run the same offense, right?
Right.
I mean, they have a lot of the same athletic profile. They're sort of built the same.
Yeah.
You can still run a lot of the same stuff with Cooper Rush as you do with Lamar Jackson, because I mean they're kind of prototypes of the same player, right, Paul?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I would. Yeah.
That's what doesn't make sense to me about this signing is like, Dak Prescott is a pocket passer quarterback. So when you bring in Cooper Rush, he's going to throw the ball from the pocket. Lamar Jackson can throw the ball. Like he's not like an incompetent passer.
Right.
But he also has another skill set that Cooper Rush does not quite. I feel like you're better off maybe with Daniel Jones. You can just rely less on the passing.
Maybe they looked at Danny Dimes. Maybe they looked at Danny Dimes, but he was like, I want a chance to start. So he went to
That's true. That's fair.
Now I mean, there's definitely weapons here. Obviously, I don't think Derrick Henry's going to. Well, I say that. I don't think he's going to repeat his success of last year. But last year we said, how good can Derrick Henry be? He's on the wrong side of 30 at this point. But you have Zay.
But he's on the right side of being incredibly enormous.
Yeah, he's on the right. Yeah, he's on the right side of
being a giant powerhouse.
Yeah, making a business decision when it's time to tackle Derrick Henry. Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman. We mentioned DeAndre Hopkins. This kid, LaJohntay Wester, that I think they brought. Is he an undrafted free agent out of Colorado?
If you had to tackle, if someone offered you like $10 million to go and try to tackle Derrick Henry like at full speed,
it's gonna be a no. Well,
I might take a shot. Like
I'll take a shot, but if I end up in the hospital, does my family get like?
Yeah, will they pay for the medical bills after I break my neck?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, offensively, this team should still be good for sure. We mentioned Munkin's back as their offensive coordinator.
Well, one of the other things was that they kind of like defensively, they made some adjustments in the middle of the season, like moving Kyle Hamilton back to safety, and like that sort of fixed a lot of the issues they have. So maybe you don't have those issues kind of going into the season until your defense looks a little better earlier on. So I think that could help them.
Yeah, I feel like this team is in a good spot. I also feel like nobody's really talking about them. They're kind of flying under the radar a little bit because in that division, the big stories are Pittsburgh with Rodgers, the Bengals with their issues, and then the Browns with that circus. So like this team by default is almost like the team nobody's talking about.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like there's really not much to talk about because it's really just can they get it done? There's not a lot of turnover. They're bringing back a lot of the same pieces. The coach is the same.
Their biggest story, honestly, in the offseason was the Justin Tucker fiasco. Probably. I mean, which they obviously got rid of him, and but. Yeah, I have no qualms about like. I guess this is kind of a spoiler for later on, but of the teams that made the playoffs last year, that I would be fairly surprised to shocked if they didn't make it this year. The Ravens are high on that list.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, if they didn't win the division, I may not be as shocked, but missing the playoffs, I'd be
yeah. Because you figure it's going to be like if Cincinnati gets hot and their defense is able to play competently, like you can see a situation where they, finish and maybe Lamar misses a little time and you have to go to Cooper Rush. Like that could be a problem.
That's the X factor. Yeah. If Lamar has to miss time. Let's just kind of go through their schedule here. So that Sunday night game, week 1 at Buffalo, obviously a rematch from the playoffs. They come back home, Cleveland and Detroit back to back. Big game against Kansas City in Kansas City, week 4. They host the Texans week 5. They host the Rams week 6. So again, the Stafford thing, but like you look at that schedule, man, that's aside from the Cleveland game, like that's pretty rough. Pretty rough first 6 weeks. Yeah.
Right.
And then week 7, they have a bye week 7. They host the Bears. They go to Miami. They go to Minnesota. They go to Cleveland. So three road games in a row. Kind of a weird schedule quirk there. Host the Jets. So it kind of lightens up a little bit. Host this. So from week 13, it's host the Bengals, host the Steelers, go to Cincinnati, host the Patriots, go to Green Bay on like a random week 17 game, and then come back, finish the season out in Pittsburgh. So this this is a daunting schedule for sure. So yeah, so if Lamar does miss time, this could get interesting, I guess. Like from that perspective. Real quick, I will say, I have them. This is going to be pretty easy on their rankings. I have them second in all the rankings. So teams ranked second, coach ranked second, quarterback ranked second. So easy enough.
I can see that.
Yeah, I definitely think, and this is something else I forgot to do for the other team, so I'll just do it now. My wager for the Ravens was Super Bowl winner at plus 640.
Okay.
Felt pretty good about that. For the Bengals, it was miss the playoffs at plus 124. For the Browns, it was under 4.5 wins at plus 131. I don't know what I'll be kind of curious to see what you can get that at now. And then for the Steelers, division winner for the Steelers, I had it plus
300.
550.
Oh, 550.
For what? For what's plus 300?
Oh, I was just trying to guess what the Steelers line was.
Oh no, it's plus 550 for division winner. So
do you want to go through our estimated win totals here?
Yeah, let's do. So we'll go from bottom to top. So I'm going to take a wild guess that we have the same team finishing in last place.
Yep.
And that would be the Cleveland Browns.
I have them duplicating their record from last year,
which was what?
3-14.
Yep, that's what I have. 3-14. Okay. This is going to be interesting. Third place team for you is?
I have Pittsburgh.
Okay, what's the record?
7-10.
Okay. What do you have? So do you have Cincinnati finishing second?
I have Cincinnati finishing second at 11-6.
Okay, so get ready.
We're way off here, aren't we?
I've got Cincinnati and Pittsburgh with the same record at 10-7.
Okay.
I have Pittsburgh at second, but I think I didn't go through all the tiebreakers, but
yeah, I haven't gone through that yet either.
Okay, so yeah, so that's probably, is Pittsburgh our biggest discrepancy so far?
What do you have Cleveland at?
3-14.
Okay, so we're the same there.
Yeah, and then I think Miami. We may have been off a good bit on them.
Yeah, I think so. What do you have them at?
I feel like I had them at 6-11.
Okay, I have them at 7-10. I have Miami at 7-10.
Okay, so
yeah,
so Pittsburgh's got to be our biggest discrepancy.
It is.
So far. Okay. What do you have Baltimore at?
I have Baltimore at 13-4.
Same here.
We should make a little wager on the Pittsburgh.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, so
I guess we could do an over/under bet.
Yeah, we could just do that. What's it on Rebet right now?
Let's see.
Is it still 9.5? Is that what I had? What did I have listed in the?
I thought they were at 8.5.
8.5. Okay, so I'll take the over. I'll take the over. You take the under.
Yep.
On 8.5. Okay. Lock it in. Lock. All right. So that's the AFC North. Anything else on the AFC North before we?
One more thing. I told you about this. So I told you I had ChatGPT fill out the entire schedule. I forgot to do this last week, so I'll go over both the East this week, and then I'll get to the.
Yep. Go ahead.
So ChatGPT has in the AFC East Buffalo 12-5.
Okay.
Miami 10-7.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets 9-8. And the Patriots 7-10.
Ooh.
In the NFC
Bill
East,
check running that ChatGPT.
in the NFC East, Eagles 10-7, Cowboys and Commanders both at 9-8.
Okay.
Giants 3-14.
Okay. It's a little harsh, ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable, I think. The AFC North, Baltimore. No. Wait. Winning the division at 14-3. Your Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh my God.
Baltimore.
Okay, now, let me tell you something. If that happens, I'm taking a victory lap on that one.
So,
but, I mean,
so it has Pittsburgh at 14-3 with a point differential of plus 35. Baltimore at 13-4 with a point differential of plus 90.
So a game.
Baltimore is losing. Baltimore is losing closer games than Pittsburgh, basically, and winning by bigger margins.
So Pittsburgh's going to be the Minnesota Vikings of this season and win a bunch of close games.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly.
That's what they're saying.
Cincinnati 11-6.
Jesus.
Cleveland. This is my favorite. Cleveland at 9-8.
Oh my. What season did you ask him for the right season?
So I went through each week and
oh my gosh, man.
So it's quite a
chat. Is that Chat GPT? Is that Dion running Chat GPT?
It's AI. It's Allen Iverson. That's who's running the AI over there.
All right.
We can get to the AFC North now.
NFC North.
NFC North, sorry.
We did, yeah. Whose turn is it to? Is it me for the?
Yeah, because I did the Ravens.
You did the Ravens. Okay, so we will begin the NFC North again. We're going bottom to top based on last year's results. So we'll start with Chicago Bears. Shout out to Andy, the Bears fan. 5-12 in 2024. Over under 8.5 this year. So obviously they parted ways with Matt Eberflus. They brought in Ben Johnson, the hot coaching candidate coming into this offseason. They also brought in defensive coordinator Dennis Allen and their offensive coordinators Declan Doyle, who I was watching their preseason game over the weekend. I forgot that Declan Doyle was a Saints assistant once upon a time under Sean Payton, so comes from that kind of coaching tree, I guess if you want to say. They also have Eric Sleeping with Bieniemy as their running backs coach. Should point out.
Have we jumped the shark on Eric Bieniemy needs to be a head coach? Have we
yeah.
it feels like that.
Yeah, that ship has sailed, I believe.
I think so too.
When the Saints brought him in for an 8-hour interview and didn't hire him, I think that was probably and then didn't he, because he left Kansas City and went to,
he was in Washington, wasn't he?
Right, as the OC. He took a lateral move and it went sideways.
And it wasn't great either.
Yeah. So that kind of didn't help. Because he was trying to prove that it's not just Reed and Mahomes, and turns out it probably was Reed and Mahomes.
It might have actually been Reed and Mahomes. I mean, not that. I mean,
speaking of the Chiefs, one of the key moves the Bears made the offseason was trading for Joe Thuney from the Chiefs at guard. They also brought in Grady Jarrett, defensive tackle, Drew Dahlman, and Jonah Jackson as well. They lost Keenan Allen, who's now back with the Chargers after 4.5 months of free agency or whatever it was. They also lost Tavon Jenkins and Darrell Taylor. In the draft, they had a pretty good draft, I would say.
I think, Loveland,
tight end from Michigan, Luther Burden III,
my dude.
From Missouri. I know that was your guy. And then Ozzie Trapillo from Boston College, I believe was an offensive lineman that they got.
Trapillo. That's what I go to sleep on is Trapillo.
No. So for the NFC North, they will be facing the NFC East, who we talked about last week, and the AFC North, who we just talked about. The Bears, as a reward for their last place finish last year, will get to play the Saints, the 49ers, and the Raiders as their 3 extra games. So with the Bears, I did reach out to our good friend Andy, the Bears fan, over the weekend. I just kind of try to get the pulse, kind of what he's thinking. Because I'll start here. We talked about the Patriots last week, and when we were talking about the Patriots, I said, are we at the point with the Patriots where this season is playoffs or bust? And I feel like with the Bears, we're at the same point.
This is where, because I said I know who you're talking about, and I knew it was the Bears.
Yeah, and so I said, let me find the chat here. I said, what are your realistic expectations? This is my question to Andy. And he said he thinks the playoffs is what the fan base is looking for, but he could see the Bears finishing in any place in the division. Like, just depends on Caleb. I mean, surprise, it depends on the quarterback, right?
I sent you. I believe I sent you a text this week about the Bears too.
Did you? I don't remember.
Yes, I said at this point we've reached the point in the offseason where I will be cheering against the Bears just because I'm sick of hearing about it.
Okay, yeah. They're that team.
Yeah, it's like okay, I get it. I've heard enough.
Right.
So I wanted to flame out spectacularly just because for spite.
Yeah, for spite.
For spite.
What I will say is it would be a very Saints thing for Dennis Allen to be let go as their head coach and then go to the Bears as defensive coordinator and the Bears to become like a top 5 defense in the NFL. Like, that would definitely be something.
Well, they weren't bad before either. It's not like they're starting from they're not exactly starting from a floor here. They had a competent defense.
Yeah, now I do think Allen's defense is a little bit different from Eberflus.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We'll see how that transition goes. Let me just pull up their rankings here.
This will be a good segue because I want to get your thoughts. What do you think of Caleb?
So I thought, obviously all the stuff that came out this offseason about like them not teaching them how to watch tape was kind of like alarming. I think he's got all the tools. He definitely, I think this season is going to be very telling because obviously the organization has brought in Ben Johnson, who's this wonderkin offensive mind.
Mm-hmm.
So if things don't go as planned this season, then it becomes whose fault is it? Is it Caleb's fault? Is it Ben's fault? And one thing I just kind of thought about with Ben Johnson with the Lions, he only ever really had Goff as his quarterback, right? Like it wasn't like we saw him. It's not like Kellen Moore, not to use Kellen Moore as an example, but like Kellen Moore's had Dak, he had Herbert, he had Jalen Hurts last year. So like we've seen Kellen with different types of quarterbacks. Going from Goff to Caleb, that's kind of a shift. So it'll be very interesting to see. I think they'll be okay. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm not super sold on him as like the guy. I think.
Yeah,
it's
fair.
I'm not there yet. Like I think he might be able to like play in the system if he's able to like work in the system. Like I could see that happening.
Do we see him potentially more as like an Alex Smith than a Peyton Manning? To say that good quarterback, maybe
competent.
Not a Hall of Fame, competent,
yeah,
maybe not a Hall of Famer, but every once in a while he'll make a play that you go, oh, like that was.
Yeah, see, in terms of the Alex Smith comparison, I would think that there are better flashes. Like the ceiling is higher, but there's like the flashes will be higher, but like it's not necessarily like a
Peyton Manning or
he's not going to be like a change the franchise guy on his own necessarily.
Okay, so I used Alex Smith because Alex Smith was his former number one
pick. Yeah.
But maybe like Andrew Luck. Like, is he like maybe that kind of?
Hmm.
What Luck's a weird case because like he just
that's
retired like out of
oh
the
man,
blue,
that's a
but
brutal
yeah,
story.
yeah, it was.
Yeah,
But
I have trouble finding like a good comp for him. I think I just want to see more. Like it's one season.
Like
To
I
be
wouldn't
fair, it's like
even-
one season in, and like the situation around him last year was not exactly great. So like
right.
I'm
So
probably like bailing too early on this.
I mean, honestly, and we probably talked about this last year. They honestly should have overhauled the franchise last season when they had a rookie quarterback coming in.
Yeah.
But they chose not to, and that they got what they got.
Yeah, and this may come back to like I wasn't like super amped about him coming out of USC either, and so like my prior was kind of like a little underwhelmed, and so like I could just be like I could end up being wrong on that. This could be another Josh Allen situation for me.
It could very well be a Josh Allen situation. I'm just looking up real quick. Everybody's favorite game. So, oh yeah, that's right. So the backup quarterbacks for the Bears are Tyson Bagent, who they had for a couple of years, and oh, by the way, Case Keenum, still in the league as a third stringer.
Case Keenum is one of the champions of the cash that check game.
Mm-hmm. He's in that Chase Daniel category.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Those two guys are like those guys are synonymous with each other in my book.
Yeah, looking at their offensive weapons, I mean, DeAndre Swift, DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Luther Burden III.
God, I love Luther Burden III.
Cole Kmet, Colston Loveland. Like, these are some good ball players, ladies and gentlemen. Like,
if Caleb Williams doesn't succeed in the Ben Johnson offense with these weapons, then you have to then you worry.
I think that's what I was kind of getting to earlier. Was like they have not set Caleb up for failure.
No, they have not
at this point. I don't think they have. So we'll see. Real quick on their rankings, I have their team ranking as 20th, QB ranking as 21st, and then coach ranking I have 28th. So I kind of mentioned this last week with these rookie head coaches. I kind of grouped them together.
Mm-hmm.
I think I ranked Ben Johnson the highest, only because like he was the crown jewel, if you as it were, of the new coaches coming out. So
right.
Defensively, like I mentioned with Dennis Allen coming over, they're going to go to a 4-3. It looks like scheme. They've got Montez Sweat. They've got Grady Jarrett that they brought in. They've got Jaquan Brisker showed some signs, I think, last year at safety. So, yeah, I think this is going to be one of those seasons where Bears fans, I would just say, be patient. I don't know if you're not making the Super Bowl, I don't think, but you hopefully will be a little better off than you were a year ago. I keep hitting the buttons on the wrong computer. From a scheduling perspective, let's just take a look at them real quick. So I know they have the Saints early. The Saints game's like week 5, I want to say. No, week 7, sorry. So they have home Minnesota at Detroit, and then hosting the Cowboys. Go to Vegas. They had the rematch of the Hail Mary game against Washington. Come back. Host
maybe their defensive backs will pay attention to the play this time.
Let's hope. They have to go at Baltimore, at Cincinnati back to back. That's tough. Then they have at Philadelphia on Black Friday, and then come back and go to Green Bay the next week. So that's not ideal. And then their last 3 games are home Green Bay, at San Francisco, which that in essence, could end up being a playoff game. That could be like a wild card spot on the line. And then their last game of the year is home against Detroit. So, I think, like I said, I think they're set up for success, but we'll see. It's going to take, coming out the gate. I have them. I won't give the full record, but I have them 1-2 to start. I mean, I have them beating the Vikings week 1, but then losing to the Lions and losing to the Cowboys. So, might be some growing pains, but
yeah, I haven't beaten Dallas, but that's me. That's me trying to like
reverse jinx.
Yeah, reverse jinx there. All right, you ready to move on? You ready to move on to Green Bay here?
Yep, take it away.
All right, the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, wait, sorry, real quick before we move on to Green Bay. For the Bears, the wager I placed for them, division winner for the Bears, I got it at plus 420.
Blaze it.
Yep. All right. I'm sorry.
All right.
Packers.
Green Bay Packers, 11-6 in 2024, lost in the NFC wildcard game. Signings Nate Hobbs, Aaron Banks, and Isaiah McDuffie. Their departures, defensive tackle Teddarell Slayton, cornerback Eric Stokes, linebacker Eric Wilson, and one man that we mentioned earlier who you did not have listed here, Jair Alexandra. In the draft, they drafted my boy, Matthew Golden, Savion Williams, offensive tackle Anthony Belton, Barry Sorrell. Jordan Love had a procedure on his non-throwing thumb today, I believe.
As we're recording this, yes.
Yeah. So the Paul curse lives on.
I mentioned, I think it was last week, that I may have sprinkled
some MVP wagers.
MVP for Jordan Love, and this is what I get. So
time to go cash in those odds that with a little bit of value after you drove the lineup a little bit here.
There you go.
What did you get it at? Let me ask you that.
Give me a second here. I'll find it. Jordan Love MVP was 24-1.
Ooh, 24-1. All right.
It might have gone.
We're gonna have to see. We'll have to see if it's even on the board right now first, because that could be.
Yeah. You want me to check, or are you checking?
I've got it pulled up already. So let me look.
While you're doing that, I'll just mention their non-division schedule. Third place finished last year, so they get the Panthers, the Cardinals, and the Broncos. So that kind of a mixed bag there, as it were. Love's going to be the key, I think, for them. So
you got it on Rebet at plus 2,100 or 2,400.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
it's plus 2,100 right now.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so I got a little value there.
Yep. So much for some sweet action. You want to know who I put money on for the MVP?
Justin Herbert?
Nope.
Dak Prescott?
Nope.
I don't know. Why don't you just tell me the name of the
Brock Purdy?
Oh, there you go. What'd you get that at?
I'll have to look. It was like plus 3,500 or something.
So real quick on Love, initially I was going to put it on him winning Offensive Player of the Year. But that was like 50-1 or something, like, because Offensive Player of the Year usually goes to a non-quarterback. So you Jamar Chase is your
because the MVP is basically the quarterback award, and the Offensive Player of the Year is the
non-quarterback award.
Yeah. I got it at plus 2,500.
And that was Purdy MVP.
Purdy MVP. Also took some Pete Carroll Coach of the Year.
Oh, there
at plus 1,375.
Some sweet action.
That is some sweet action.
So I'll just go through the rankings for the Packers real quick. I have them for a team. I have them 13th. Quarterback, I have them 12th. and coach ranking I have 16th. So I've got LaFleur.
Oh, no. Don't tell me. You're gambling again, aren't you?
We are, Newman. We are. So I got LaFleur kind of that meaty part of the curve. Not showing off, not falling behind. I do think LaFleur is a good coach for what it's worth.
I think so too.
I mean, Love, I think this is a season where we're going to rubber has to start meeting road. I know wide receiver is going to be a question for them.
Well, they've got a bunch of injuries in their wide receiver room right now. So that's a problem.
That's a problem. They also have a problem at corner. I don't know if you heard this, but Bo Melton, who they drafted as a wide receiver, has switched to corner because they needed somebody to play corner. Basically,
we got a Troy Brown situation going on here.
Basically, I do have a coworker who is a Packers fan who told me the Packers are going to shock the world when Bo Melton becomes a better two-way threat than Travis Hunter. But
you must be smoking some homegrown.
Yeah, good luck with that. Their defense. They need. I mean, so they played the Jets this past weekend in their preseason game, and Justin Fields was moving the ball pretty effectively against that defense. Now, obviously, I don't think they were playing all their starters, but this is going to be another. They could almost be like the Bengals of the NFC, where like their offense is pretty good to really good, but their defense kind of holds them back.
Yeah.
Now,
this feels like they're very going to be very health reliant on offense, and that's just basically rely on that to carry your team.
We should mention the Josh Jacobs factor, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to kind of lean on him a little bit this year too. From a receiver stand, you mentioned receivers. Your boy Golden,
he might have to carry. He might have to offensive rookie of the year.
That or I was going to say, or a fantasy guy. Like he might be a sneaky because I will say it feels like Love, from what I've been hearing, like Love is a fan of Golden and like how he prepares and how he takes care of his business. They also have obviously Romeo Dobbs, Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, McCole Hardman. Remember McCole Hardman from the Chiefs years ago? Dontavian Wicks. Dontavian Wicks.
John Wick.
Savion Williams coming out of TCU who had a buzz. They just
Jingleheimer Schmidt.
They just signed Saints legend Kawan Baker. My coworker was like, "Hey, what can you tell me about Kawan Baker?" I'm like, so I looked him up. The Saints drafted him in 2021, and he hasn't played in the NFL. Well, he's been on practice. He's been bouncing around.
They just been waiting for him to blossom. This is the year, Paul. Someone just needed to find the right spot for him.
I guess, man. Good luck to him. I think this. I don't know. Like this is kind of a team that a lot of people are high on. I'm semi high on them too. But yeah, if Jordan Love. Time to play. Well, yeah, you know the answer to this. Malik Willis is the backup there. Who, for what it's worth, Malik Willis played pretty well in relief of Jordan Love last year. So.
And this is one of the things where I think LaFleur should get a lot of credit because he's been the one that, like, when they lose Love, they've been able to do a lot of stuff schematically to kind of get through it.
I thought he was going to get some Coach of the Year love, no pun intended. But I mean, O'Connell with what he did with Darnold last year. We'll talk about the Vikings here in a minute, but kind of stole that from him. So my wager for the Packers. So I mentioned the Love MVP, but I also did 4 wins in the first 5 weeks at plus 480. So let's talk about their schedule real quick. So I know they start the season with a game against Detroit week 1. So their first 5 weeks, so they actually have a bye week 5. They have a very early bye.
Early bye. Well,
So
given
it's
all the injuries,
technically-
that actually might help them.
Yeah, so they host Detroit. Then they have a quick turnaround. They have a Thursday night game hosting the Commanders. Then they go to Cleveland. And then they go to Dallas for a Sunday night game. And then they have a bye week. So basically my wager of 4 wins in the first 5 weeks is they got to start 4-0 because they have a bye week, week 5.
Ooh, that's
and I got that at plus 480, which, you know, you and I both think the Commanders are going to take a step back. We'll talk about Detroit here in a minute. The Packers seem to have the Cowboys number. No offense.
Mike McCarthy's no longer there. You never know. It could be.
And then Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland's Cleveland. So
they lose to Cleveland. We have a lot. They have a lot bigger problems than this.
we might have some problems. Okay. Anything else on the Packers before we?
No, I think we can move on to the
Minnesota Vikings.
Minnesota.
Let me pull up my.
Speaking of teams that might take a step back.
I mean, yeah, you definitely would think so.
Well, you can't really take much of a step up. You can't really take much of a step forward from 14-3, especially when 14-3 with Sam Darnold.
With Sam Darnold, and playing the last game of the season against Detroit for a chance to be the 1 seed in the NFC, which they lose, and then go on to lose to the Rams in the NFC wild card the next week. Over under 8.5 for the Vikings this year.
That's a pretty steep drop.
Yeah. You could probably get the number other places is probably lower, honestly. But offseason, they brought in Jonathan Allen, defensive tackle. They brought in Siobhan Hargrave. They brought in 2 offensive linemen from the Colts, Will Fries and Ryan Kelly. And they also brought in Sam Howell at quarterback.
Commander's legend.
Commander's legend to back up J.J. McCarthy. Obviously lost Sam Darnold. They also lost Cameron Bynum. And then offensive tackle Cam Robinson, who they traded for at the trade deadline from Jacksonville. And then he is now gone. I don't remember where Cam ended up. We'll probably come upon him later. They didn't have many draft picks. I think they only had 4. I just highlighted 2 here. Donovan Jackson from Ohio State as a versatile guard, tackle, offensive lineman. And then Ty Felton, wide receiver from Maryland that they brought in. Speaking of wide receivers, Jordan Addison has been suspended the first 3 games of the season. What was the offense?
Didn't he have a traffic situation or a DUI or something?
I thought it was okay. Yeah, that could be right because it was drug policy, I believe, was what they cited. So that would make sense. It was
substance abuse policy. Yeah, it stems from a DUI situation though. Is the
okay? So as a result of finishing second place last year, they get to play the Falcons, the Seahawks, and the Chargers, which is not. Terrible.
That's not a murderer's row exactly. Like
I think the Packers actually got it worse because they get the Broncos and the Panthers and the Cardinals.
That's kind of the Packers those 3 extra games. Those are kind of like a Rorschach's test. So like, what you think? Yeah. The thing of those teams is like you can kind of look at it a lot of different ways.
So for the Vikings, obviously the big story coming into this season is McCarthy, JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, not Mike.
Not Mike McCarthy. I mean, listen, if the Vikings repeat what they did last year with JJ McCarthy, they should give Kevin O'Connell a lifetime contract.
Well, they should put him in the Hall. Just put him in the Hall of Fame right now.
Because this is O'Connell's second, third season with the Vikings?
No, he's been there for a few seasons.
He's been there for a while.
Yeah, I think so. Got to be like his 3rd or 4th at least.
While you look that up, my wager for the Vikings, 4th place division finish, I got that at plus 226, which seems. We're talking about it here, but
Kevin O'Connell is a handsome man. You know, got a strong jaw. Got a strong jawline too.
I will not deny it.
Okay, so he's been there since 2022, so this will be his 4th season.
Okay, so taking a look at their depth chart here real quick. I had it and I lost it. I did get to watch them a little bit because they played the Texans this weekend, so I checked them out a little bit. McCarthy looked like a rookie who's coming off a major injury. So Aaron Jones Sr., excuse me, is the running back. Jordan Mason, they brought him in from the San Francisco 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
At receiver, obviously.
The Mason jar.
Yeah, obviously receiver, you've got Justin Jefferson, who's top 2 receiver in the entire NFL. He might not be 2. Addison, we mentioned. But after that, kind of a drop-off.
You got the tight end.
T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah. Yep.
They do. But like from a wide receiver perspective, their third receiver is Jalen Naylor, who, that we talked about Ty Fulton, who they drafted.
Naylor.
I hardly knew her. Offensive line. So Donovan Jackson's plugged in as their starting left guard right now. They also have Christian Darrisaw, who got injured last season, and that's why they traded for Cam Robinson, if I'm not mistaken.
Darrishaw's got to be getting up there. Oh, no, never mind. He's a lot younger than I thought. For some reason, I thought he'd been around for a while, but he's only
the same age. He's the same age as Tyler Shook, by the way.
Oh.
He's born the same year as Tyler Shook.
He really is getting up there in years then.
Thanks. Appreciate that. One thing I guess kind of underrated about the Vikings is their defense was pretty good last year with Brian Flores.
Well, he's returning too, so like I wouldn't think that when I heard it talked about like his first year there, they didn't have a lot of talent, and so he was kind of just like throwing stuff at the wall to see what worked. Last year, as they've increased the talent, he's been able to be more like, less chaotic, aggressive. I think. Yeah. And so like he can kind of rely more on just like regular scheme stuff and sort of regular, like rotating coverages. And then instead of just having to like fully rely on just like, blitzes all the time.
Yep. So this could be a kind of a Steelers situation where defense keeps them in the game. They kind of run the ball, shorten the game.
You just need McCarthy to not make mistakes.
Yep. Listen, I think we can joke about Sam Howell, but like I saw what Kevin O'Connell did with Sam Darnold. Like Sam Howell, I'm not saying he's
maybe it's Sam is like the secret code to Kevin O'Connell.
We'll see. I mean, who knows? All that to say, I'm not expecting this team in the Super Bowl or a repeat of last season, but I do think they have some pieces for sure. I think this season their kind of key is just let's get McCarthy a year under his belt. Let's figure out how good he is or not is, as it were. And let's go from there. So, and then hopefully he stays healthy so that they can make that evaluation.
I got to quit. How bad do you think it has to go for McCarthy to be like benched?
To yank him?
Yeah.
I guess if he's like Will Levis, I don't think O'Connell. So, we joked a lot about Will Levis last year, but like Brian Callahan before last season said, "Hey, I've got to figure out how good Will Levis is." Right? I don't think O'Connell's going to have that attitude with McCarthy. I think O'Connell still.
Well, they figured out how good Will Levis was pretty quickly.
Fair enough, but I think O'Connell still has a belief that this team is a playoff caliber team aside from the quarterback.
Right.
So like if he gets in a situation where it's like week 4 and McCarthy's still not getting it, he'll either like go to Sam Howell or he'll maybe look around.
Maybe they'll trade for Sam. Maybe they'll trade for Sam Darnold.
Maybe they'll get Derek Carr out of retirement. Who knows? I don't
know. The real shame about Cam Ward being drafted number 1 overall to the Titans is that we don't get any more Will Levis. He was a joy to watch.
Well, but he and then he injured himself too. He got hurt.
Oh, that's true.
He's out for the season. Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that. So
by the way, did you see he posted a video or a photo of his shoulder? No,
I did not see that.
It was bad. Like it was, yeah.
Well, I'm glad I didn't see that then.
Yeah, don't go looking for it. Like you thought Barbarian was bad. But yeah, so anything more about the Vikings before we
let's move on. Did you rank? Did you rank?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, let me get my my rankings real quick. Thank you. No, I was forgetting something. Okay, team ranking. I have him 12th, which I feel like is okay.
Yeah.
Quarterback ranking, I have him 30th, just because McCarthy's. We don't know. We don't know what we know about McCarthy.
Yeah, there are known knowns and there are known unknowns, but there's also unknown unknowns.
Yeah, and then coach ranking, I have 14th. I don't know. That feels low.
Is that a typo? You might want to reconsider that one.
Yeah, because I have him behind. Yeah. So I have him behind. I think this is going to sound silly.
You're definitely not ranking on looks there.
No. I gave preferential status. Well, I gave preferential status to guys who won playoff games, like DeMeco Ryans, Dan Quinn.
Yeah, I think I would put him over like guys like that now.
Okay, so here's the coaches that are above him,
okay.
Which I guess is spoiling a little bit, but DeMeco Ryans, Dan Quinn, Kyle Shanahan, Pete Carroll, Sean McDermott, Nick Sirianni, Mike Vrabel, Sean McVay, Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton, Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, and Andy Reid.
Yeah, there's some guys I would put him over.
Yeah, you could probably put him over DeMeco, probably over Quinn. Would you put him over Shanahan?
No, I don't think. But I would have Shanahan higher than that too.
Yeah, I kind of gave Pete the legends.
Yeah, Pete, I would probably. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough call.
Yeah. Okay. So, last but not least, the
Detroit Lions, 15-2 in 2024, lost in the divisional round because everybody died on their defense.
Pretty much.
Over under 10.5 this year. Big losses. They lost both of their coordinators, offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, who is now the head coach of the Bears, defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn, who is now the head coach of the New York Jets, signed cornerback DJ Reed, linebacker Derek Barnes, who was a re-signing, and Tim Patrick, formerly of the Broncos.
Yep.
Departure Frank Ragnow is said, see you rag later. Cornerback Carlton Davis, Kevin Zeitler, safety effect Melifonwu, Mr. Melifonwu. I'm Melifonwu. Left. In the draft, they took Tyleek Williams, Tate Ratledge, Isaac Tesla.
Yep.
Not related to Nikola Tesla.
I don't believe so.
And Miles Frazier. Their non-division opponents will be the Buccaneers, the Rams, and the Chiefs.
In addition to the NFC
In addition to the NFC East and the AFC North.
So, we talked about Tomlin, like this being the hardest season of Tomlin's career.
Mm-hmm.
This is the make. Well, I don't want to say make or break. This is the hardest season probably for Dan Campbell, because now he has to rebuild this coaching staff somewhat, because Obviously, you mentioned Aaron Glenn leaving, Ben Johnson leaving, but then also Aaron Glenn took with him Tanner Eggerston, I believe is his name. He's the office coordinator with the Jets now. He was the quarterback coach last year for the Lions. Now, the one thing I'll say, and I hate bringing up this example with you on the call, but if you recall, the Eagles a couple years ago made a run, lost Shane Steichen, lost Jonathan Gannon, and a couple years later, they won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, what happened the year after the first year after they lost those coordinators though?
It went bad, right?
It went bad fast.
Went bad fast. Okay, that's what I thought. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, it was. So the year between it was ugly. That was when I don't remember they got so bad that they brought in Matt Patricia to run the defense at one point.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So
yeah. Look, I mean, it's very. There's still talent on this team,
right? A lot of talent.
There's a lot of talent. Where are you at on? Well, here. Let me just get this out of the way. Where are you at on Jared Goff?
I think he's a better quarterback. I think he's a better quarterback now than he was when he left the Rams.
The Rams.
And he's better able to handle, because it was like a situation where if anything broke down, he sort of just like panicked and like imploded and would sort of collapse in on himself like a dying star. I think now he's better suited to handle that. And so it's one of those situations where your mind kind of catches up or is like processing better at that point. I think that's where he is in his career.
Yeah.
Slows down.
Slows down.
Yeah, exactly. I still don't think of him as like a top 10 quarterback talent. But I think he is capable.
I have him at 14.
Okay.
Quarterback rankings.
Yeah, I don't see. I don't have like that. Doesn't like cause me any sort of outrage hearing that.
I have Dan Campbell 15 in the coaching rankings.
Okay.
Again, he's a candidate. Again, if they repeat what they did last year after losing both coordinators, then yeah, he's definitely going to move up.
He has shown a decent eye for like being able to find coordinators who know what they're doing. So he knows kind of what he's looking for in people. And so like I think he's a good he seems to be a good judge of talent. And so he'll just have to prove that he can do that again. I think that's one of the big things. Yeah. He's aggressive and he does instill a lot of confidence in his players. So I think that's a big plus for him.
Guys want to play for him for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like, from a team perspective, I have them 11th overall.
Okay.
They do defensively. Obviously, Aiden Hutchinson coming back off of his injury last year. Saints legend Marcus Davenport. Can't even say it with a straight face.
First round pick.
Here are some Saints legends that are on the Lions defense: Marcus Davenport, Alex Anzalone, Al-Qadin Muhammad, who was in that 2017 draft class that the Saints had. I think that's it. Well, Brian Branch is who the Saints should have drafted instead of Isaiah Foskey, but that's another story for another day. So from a defensive perspective, again, on paper, if you look at these, just the talent on the field, feels like they've got it. But I think coaching matters in the NFL. So that's where my.
I'm curious what the offensive scheme looks like. Right. That's like what I'm curious about.
Do we know who their
offensive coordinator is?
Did they just promote?
I think they promoted internally.
Yeah, and I think the guy that went with Glenn to the Jets
He got passed over for the job, didn't he?
He got passed over, so that's why he went.
John Morton.
Frankly, it sounds made up.
It does kind of sound made up.
Yeah.
We have the same birthday, September 24th.
Hey, there you go.
There's a feather in my cap.
There you go, buddy. So their schedule.
Former Toronto Argonauts player and Frankfurt Galaxy member.
Oh wow, Frankfurt Galaxy. NFL Europe represent. Yeah. So their schedule, man.
Oh, he did. He was not an internal. He spent the last 2 years in Denver as the pass game coordinator.
Okay, so he's learned under Peyton. So, well, that would make sense because Peyton and Dan Campbell have a relationship from. Campbell was on Peyton's staff back in the day. So
he's from Auburn Hills, Michigan. So this is a homecoming for him.
There you go. And listen, maybe this is a situation where everybody's discounting them as a team. So maybe
Paul, this guy was a passing game coordinator and wide receiver, or passing game coordinator and offensive assistant in New Orleans in 2006.
Oh, so he worked with Peyton. So yeah.
So that's he worked with Peyton twice now.
Twice now. So listen, if he's a Peyton disciple, that means he could end up being Pete Carmichael, which would not be good for the Lions. But looking at their schedule, man, their bye week is week 8. Here's their first 7 games: at Green Bay, home Chicago, at Baltimore, home Cleveland, at Cincinnati, at Kansas City, home Tampa.
That's a tough schedule.
Pretty rough.
That schedule's asking to take a step back right there.
And then if you start at Thanksgiving, so they're home Green Bay for Thanksgiving, home Dallas the next week, at the Rams, home Pittsburgh, and they close out the season at Minnesota on Christmas Day and at the Bears.
That's a tough one.
This is why I don't know. I don't see this team repeating the success they had last year. I'm not saying they're going to fall off the face of the earth and be
15-2. Like we said with the Vikings, it's hard to take a step up from 15-2. Hard not to take a step back.
Yeah. So, anything else you want to talk about with the Lions?
No, I think we can get to our. Do you have your bet, and then we can get to our standings?
Oh yeah. Did I give a wager for the Vikings?
Yeah, you did. I don't remember what it was, but you did give one.
Fourth place division finish. Okay, so for the Lions, my wager is very simple. They missed the playoffs at plus 156.
What was your Vikings finish fourth line?
Fourth place finish plus 226.
Okay. That's important to me because what we're about to get to next.
Okay, well, there we go. Leads us into our rankings. So we're going to start at the bottom, work our way up. Let me get to where I need to be. So, fourth place in the NFC North, according to you, sir, will be
Minnesota at 7-10.
Okay, for me, I have Minnesota at 6-11.
I can see that.
So
we're not far off.
Third place in the NFC North will be.
This is where we're gonna get interesting. I've got Detroit 10-7.
I've got Detroit 8-9.
Ooh.
Okay.
Interesting.
Second place.
So this is my favorite part because after all my hemming and hawing about Caleb Williams and how I'm out on the Bears for spite, I have them going 11-6.
Okay, so I have the Bears second place, but I have them 9-8.
Okay. And
so we both have the Packers in first place. I have them 10-7. You have
buddy, get ready. 14-3. Yeah.
Man,
This feels like one I'm going to have to like go in and revise down somewhere.
yeah. Although, now that I think about it, when I first did my first draft, if you will, of the schedule, I probably had the Packers up a little bit from 10-7. I think I did. I'll do a little bit of revising. But anyway, okay. So our order is the same: Vikings, Lions, Bears, Packers from bottom to top.
Yeah,
just got a little bit. So our biggest discrepancy is still the Steelers.
No. Because I have the Packers 14, and you have them 10, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
well, that's a pretty.
I meant, but we have them in the same plate. We both have first place.
The Steelers are the ones where we're both.
So the Packers. What did you have? The Bears.
11-6.
Okay, so I have them 9-8, and then the Lions. You had 10-7.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, this division had 3 playoff teams last year, so maybe they'll have.
Could it happen again?
Happen again. They'll just swap out one for the other. All right. I think that does it for the North. Anything else we need to do?
Yes, we have one more thing. I need to give you my Chat GPT results.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Go ahead.
So Chat GPT has Detroit winning the division.
Okay.
At 10-7.
Okay.
A tie for second here. Green Bay and Minnesota. Both at 7-10.
Ooh.
And Dub Bears 3-14.
I'm sorry, Andy. Andy's gonna have a lot of problems with ChatGPT, I think.
Andy will be switching to a different AI engine.
So you're telling me ChatGPT doesn't believe in Caleb Williams either?
No, and I will say this was ChatGPT 4.0, so this was not before they made the recent update. They're now on ChatGPT 5.0, so I may go in and get a revised,
updated.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, so next week we will preview the South, so the polar opposite direction from the North, and probably the 2 worst divisions in football.
Yep.
So
definitely the worst pairs of divisions that we're doing here.
For sure. Yeah. Anything else you want to mention before? We went for a while tonight.
No, yeah. Well, we did have technical difficulties to kick us off. Yeah, that. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Order your copy. You can be like Taylor too. Order your copy from manil.org.
Yeah, don't pre-order her album.
Order the book
that she had in the background of her announcement there.
And like I said, Taylor, if you need a hookup with some Manil publications, give your boy a call.
Or Taylor,
if you want to come on on the show.
Yeah, that would be something.
We'll talk about football. We'll talk about football and art.
Well,
first I have to take the plastic wrap off of this book.
Have you read any of those books, by the way?
Well, a lot of them I'm keeping in the plastic just in case they're worth something one day.
Oh, that's why you're okay. So apparently, I watched a little bit of this interview Taylor did on the New Heights podcast. Apparently, she knows ball. Apparently
No. He knows ball. She knows Aristotle. Don't you know anything, Phil?
And on that note,
ladies and gentlemen,
what a better way to. That's it for me. Good night. All right. Well, we'll be back next week to talk about the South. But until then, happy football, everybody.
Happy football. Well.